For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of when.
Hello again, everybody. Joe Piscopo, Shea Stadium. The big story. Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets It Rob and another live stream during a New York Mets game. The New York Mets are facing the Houston Astros in Houston, Texas at Minute Maid Park, and ace of the staff, quote unquote, ace of the staff, Max Scherzer is on the mound for our orange and blue. So what can happen or what could go wrong with this New York Mets team any further? Because at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to think anymore. If you tuned into the Mets Roundtable podcast less than an hour ago, I gave my predictions. I think the Mets are going to surprise a few people here. Shockingly, I think the Mets are going to take 2 out of 3, and this is not, optimism. It's more pessimistic in my predictions there, but it's time to roll for the New York Mets. I know we've said that many times in the past couple of weeks, but after this Houston Astros series, and let's not really look ahead because I think the Mets need to take looking at one game at a time before they go crazy, is to look at the schedule over the next 2.5 weeks. They are playing every team that is in front of them for a wild card spot. So this is the opportunity that you're looking for, and not necessarily where you want to be at this point in the season at 33 and 38, but there's an opportunity right in front of them. And that's what they have to do. They got to take one game at a time, one series at a time, and start to roll a little bit, because I'm giving this team until July 1st to become buyers or sellers. And you got to, in my prediction, you got to be within 3 games of a playoff spot to even think about being a buyer at the deadline. And at the moment, they're not looking anything more than sellers at the deadline. But that can all change with a 3-week stretch where the Mets can actually look like a competent baseball team, and things could turn around just like you see many teams in the National League have. A lot of people who didn't think the Reds would do anything, or the Pirates would do anything, or the Giants would do everything, right? Those teams had about 10 to 15 game stretches where they had a good 2 weeks and it changed their season around. That's what the New York Mets have to do, especially with teams that are in front of them for a playoff spot, and they're playing a ton of them over the next 2.5 weeks. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Mets pregame show right here on Talking Mets and Rob. So don't forget to smash on that like button, guys, and let's hope that our New York Mets find a way to beat the World Series champions, the Houston Astros. And, again, people complain about the lineup once again, and it's laughable at this point because the lineup has absolutely nothing to do with this Mets downfall, at least currently over the last 3, probably even the last month. Because a lot of those shutouts were late April and May, in early May, a lot of those shutouts, right? They've been playing a lot better. They've been scoring over the last 3.5 weeks, a little over 5.5 runs per game, which should be more than enough to win you ball games. The pitching is the problem. The pitching needs to get better. And if the pitching doesn't get better, we're going to have more problems than we already have at this point, 71 games into the season so far, as we play game 72 today with Scherzer on the mound. So there's a lot of things to look at with this team, a lot of negatives and a lot of positives. During the podcast about an hour ago, I said there's 3 positives to take out of the Cardinal series. Clearly, it wasn't winning the series because they did not do that. But Tyler McGill, who will be pitching in the series, looked good. He slowed down his motion, which helped him get his arm where it needs to be at a certain point, and he saw the movement and the jump in his pitches where you've seen something like early last year, what you can get from Tyler McGill. The other thing was the Mets bullpen. Minus Ottavino for that one pitch that he thrown against Arenado yesterday, the bullpen was extremely good. Dominic Leone has basically been a great find by Billy Epler, even though a lot of people like to kill Epler. That was a great find by Billy Epler there. And now he's one of the more trusted bullpen arms in the Mets bullpen other than David Robertson. And number 3, the biggest positive, in my opinion, is the lineup, who has not really done much with 2 outs in 2023. Scored 7 runs yesterday on 2 outs. All their runs came on 2 outs yesterday. That is vintage 2022 Mets. And that is something that the Mets can do, because that can be very demoralizing to any team they face. It didn't work out yesterday, but it's a good sign for the offense that everybody loves to kill. That really has not been the problem for the New York Mets for the most part in 2023. It's been since day one, the pitching. Most of the time it's been the rotation, and at times it's been the bullpen. Until we stop worrying about the lineup, which we shouldn't be worrying about when you're scoring 5.5 runs per game, a little under a month of this, for the last month, they've been scoring that much. That's where the New York Mets have to continue to be good at. And if this pitching this pitching does not have to be great here. I want to make that clear. The pitching has to be pretty good, right? If you can get that, those 5-6 solid innings, there's a pretty good chance the New York Mets are going to win a ball game, especially when they've been putting up 5 runs per ball game, a little over 5.5 runs per ball game. You're going to win games. So quality starts matter. 19-2 when a starting pitcher goes 6 innings or more. That is not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. You go 6 innings, your best bullpen arms are going to most likely save the game. And that's the way it has been for the New York Mets this year. And also, they put up a graphic yesterday. The New York Mets have lost 10 games this year when they scored 6 runs or more. That's a huge problem, because if you win half those games, you are at 500 right now, and the Mets will be in a better spot position-wise for a playoff spot as they currently are right now. So that is the big thing right now. What are we going to get from Max Scherzer? What are we going to get from Justin Verlander, who is getting his World Series ring from the Astros? What are we going to get from Tyler McGill in this series? If they pitch well, if they give you quality starts, I'm pretty confident in saying the Mets have a chance of winning these 3 games. But you got to give me 6 innings from either one of all 3 of these guys. Give me 6 innings. You know what? I would even go far as to say, give me 6 innings, 2 or 3 runs. That should be enough to win ball games. At the current pace, the lineup has been scoring runs. And that's where the New York Mets have to be. Until we see that, I don't know if this team's going to turn it around. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say I think it's going to turn around. I don't know. I don't want to predict anything stupid, because I don't think it's fair to the teams that are in front of the Mets. And I don't want to give any credit to the New York Mets at this point, because they don't deserve it until they prove it. We'll see what happens. We got Scherzer on the mound. Again, the Mets have been giving Scherzer leads the last couple of starts, and he's been giving them back. It would be nice to see the Mets get a lead and Scherzer hold it, and that would be really nice, because that would give us a big chance of winning, right? You had a 4-run lead against the Yankees when Scherzer went on the mound in the 4th inning. That didn't work out too well, did it? Right? Verlander looked good against the Yankees, but that was a bad Yankees lineup. Let's see him against a better Astros lineup, which has been struggling as of late. Just got swept by the Reds. Kyle Tucker is the only one that's really hitting a lot in that lineup right now. Altuve's getting there, but the lineup is not there. They don't have Yordan Alvarez, so that's a plus in the Mets column. But what are the pitching going to do? We need consistency here. We need to pitch well while the offense is doing well. When that clicks, the Mets win. It's just that simple. It's in the statistics as I just laid out there. 19-2 when a pitcher goes 6 innings or more, and scoring 5 runs in Major League Baseball, on average, a team wins 78% of the time. So that just shows you what you have to do to win ball games. The Mets are not doing that consistently at all. And pitching is the problem, and pitching needs to be better. Again, we're going to have a long summer if this pitching doesn't get their act together. And it's going to be a very frustrating season for the New York Mets and the fan base who expected big things from this team in year 2 of the Buck Showalter, Billy Epler era, along with the Steve Cohen 3rd year of owning this New York Mets team. But what are we looking at with the lineup for tonight? The New York Mets, and I'm going to put it on the bottom right here. It's going to be scrolling across your screen. A lot of people are going to complain about Daniel Vogelbach once again. Again, it is what it is at this point, guys. We know what they think, and they think that this guy has something where 99% of Met fans don't. And that's what we have to look at. So the pitching matchup for tonight is Max Scherzer for the Mets, and for the Astros, Hunter Brown, the young arm for the Astros. The Mets lineup tonight, Brandon Nimmo leading off playing center. Starler Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Tommy Pham, best hitter in the lineup, batting fifth, playing left field. Jeff McNeil playing second base, batting sixth. Batting seventh, Daniel Vogelbach DHing. Batting eighth, Brett Beatty playing third base. And catching, batting ninth, is Francisco Alvarez. So that is your lineup against Hunter Brown and the Astros. Let's see if this Mets team can score runs early, give a lead to Scherzer, and let's hope that he can actually hold a lead. So I'm going to see everybody's comments. I'm sorry I didn't get to it as of yet. I know I came up a little bit later, but I just did a podcast, so it was kind of giving me a couple of minutes to eat something and drink something before we get into the nitty-gritty of Mets Astros. And yes, Grant is at Minute Maid right now. He is going to yell out, listen up, yell out when Buck to tell Buck what decision to make during the course of a game. So Grant's going to be one of many Met fans. He said there's a good turnout for Met fans in Houston, so that is nice to see. He says he would think it's about 25% Met fans there, which is a pretty good crowd for New York Mets fans that haven't been playing well. So let's see if Grant can get us some luck with these New York Mets here and try to get out of this winning the series. It won't be easy. Nobody's going to tell you that. I won't tell you that. But you know what? The Reds just swept the Astros, right? The Mets swept the Phillies, and the Phillies, a lot of people think are better than the Mets right now. So anybody can beat anybody on any given day in Major League Baseball. I mean, the A's had a 7-game winning streak, right? Anything can happen. Yeah, Christopher, I understand that they're World Series champions, but you know what? The Mets also won 101 games last year. What does that mean this year? Absolutely nothing, right? Justin Verlander is now on the Mets, right? He's not on the Astros, right? So it doesn't matter if they won last year or not. That's irrelevant, right? They just lost to the Reds. Last time I checked, the Astros are still World Series champions, right? It doesn't matter. It's the way they're playing right now. And the Astros have not been playing well over the last 13 games. They've been struggling. And that's honest truth. We can all talk about they are the World Series champions. We all know that. But that means absolutely nothing in 2023. It doesn't at all. It really doesn't. Because if you go into a game with that mindset, then you're actually wasting your time. Because then you're already going into a game saying, all right, we have no shot. So if you're saying that, then don't bother watching. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying be positive and, have so much, optimism where you're going in there. Oh, the Mets are going to win. Great. Yeah, the Mets are playing worse than the Astros the past 13 games, but that doesn't mean the Mets can't win, right? The Mets were playing a little bit better than the Cardinals, but the Cardinals took 2 out of 3, right? It doesn't. Baseball doesn't work like that. Baseball doesn't say, well, this team's better than this team, so the best team, this team that's better has to win. It doesn't work like that. I think we've been watching baseball long enough that you should know that. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Mets, I agree. It's not looking good in June right now. But again, that does not mean nothing, right? Every game is a game within itself. If you really think that yesterday's game, if the Mets win today and find a way to win, are you going to say yesterday's loss meant something? That it had an effect on today's game? No. And if you lose, it's because of what happened in that particular game. I think we look too much into, well, they suck in the month of June. Well, that's wonderful. Well, and Andre, I agree with you. Yeah, they jumped us. But you know what? It takes a series to jump them right back, right? So it is what it is. Again, we're too focused on everybody else when we need to focus on ourselves, right? Play one game at a time and see what happens, right? I'm not saying that everything's going to be sunshines and rainbows. I'm not. But this team, and if you look at Met fans and you've seen on Twitter and all over the place, all they bitched and moaned about for 3 months now have been the offense, Lindor, Vogelback. Again, stop being obsessed with the lineup. This lineup is fine. All right? You can't score 5 runs per game and lose. You're not supposed to do that. Major League Baseball average, 78% of the Major League Baseball wins are with teams scoring 5 runs in a game or more. That's a lot. That's a huge percentage there. When last year it was hovering around 69%. So it comes back to pitching. If the Mets pitch well, the Mets have probably close to an 85% chance, maybe 90% chance of winning the ball game. Because when they get to their better arms in the bullpen, late in the game, they have a tendency of holding that lead. And that's where the Mets have to be. You keep on going about the lineup. You're absolutely wrong. I'm sorry. The numbers, you don't want to believe the numbers, and that's the problem with you. All you talk about is the lineup. The lineup, look, can the lineup be better? Of course. Every lineup can be better. Every lineup can be better. But facts are facts. When the Mets score 5 runs or more, Major League Baseball percentage says they're supposed to win 78% of the time. Right? That's a big number. That's not a little number. Right? It has nothing to do with the lineup. Right? Was the lineup a problem yesterday when they scored 7 runs, when they could have easily folded and just lost 7-0 and said, the hell with this? Right? When Carrasco gave up these games, every inning, it seemed like he gave up a run. Why wouldn't the lineup say, what the hell with this? Are we really going to come back? No. I'm sorry. Showing signs of a lineup that keeps on coming back is showing that they're fighting with the lineup. Not saying this lineup is murderer's row. Not saying the lineup is the top 10 in baseball, because they're not. But look at the scenario that the Mets are in. Yeah, yes, the lineup has a lot of problems, but that's not why the Mets are losing. And that's the problem that you don't understand. Right? The Mets rarely this year, again, they had 21, right? We played 71 games. So 21 of those games, they had a quality start. So the other 50, they did not. So don't tell me the lineup destroyed this team so far, because it's not true. It's not. Has the lineup been great? No, I'll be the first one to tell you that. But this lineup has shown you over the last close to a month now that they've been scoring a run better than their season average. Their season average is 4.41. It actually jumped up a little bit from yesterday. It's at 4.5 right now. They're scoring in about close to a month now, 5.5 runs per game. If you're still losing, it's not your offense. I'm sorry. You can bitch and moan about the lineup all you want, but when you score 5.5 runs per game, You need to win at least 70% of those games because that's what the Major League Baseball average is. I agree, Crossface. It is on the starters. You know, what can the bullpens do when they're taxed in the first 2.5 months of the season? Yeah, Andre. Okay, well, guess what, Andre? How many people on this channel have said the Mets need to hit more home runs? Well, they're hitting a lot of home runs, and they're still losing. So guess what? That's not the issue either. The issue is pitching. Yeah, 8 times, but the majority of those 8 times have been in the early part of May and April, right? From the end of the mid part of April to the mid part of May. The last month, they've been shut out twice, excuse me. So, and again, teams get shut out. That's okay. It happens. Right? How did the Mets, right? They had 8 shutouts all of last year. How did that work out for them? They should have won the World Series in your mind. I'm sorry, but the pitching is absolutely terrible. And again, we're going to start the game. You guys know the drill. Game day is going to be popping up just now, and I'm going to change over to the new background so we get the Mets and Astros on their way. Enjoy the game, guys. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. And sound is coming up. Brandon Nimmo will be coming to the plate in just a minute. Just give me a second. Let me just put that game day in the proper order. Brandon Nimmo leading off. Let's put on the game. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the audio of the TV.
Was on the postseason roster for this ball club last year. Did not pitch in the World Series, but had 3 relief appearances in the American League Divisional Championship Series. Hard slider, throws hard, and the Chevrolet defense for the Houston Astros. Maldonado, always great defensively behind the plate. Pena as a rookie Gold Glover right there in 2022. And Altuve, of course, who's been injured this year, got injured in the
All right, guys. Waiting for Nimmo to get to the plate and for the game to start. Of course, the game, it is 8:10. It's supposed to start. We'll see.
Very fine defensive team. Jake Myers can go get him in center, too. And that's all I got here.
Although they have struggled defensively lately.
Crossface for who? He had a good start against the Cardinals, so you're not sending him down. You want Lucchesi or Peterson? Come on. All right, here we go. Play ball. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in this stream to watch Mets Astros on this 8 o'clock start in Texas. Here we go, guys.
Integral to Houston's mojo, Space City across the front.
Absolutely. Changed the name to the Astros. LBJ had a lot to do with that. That's Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Brandon Nimmo leads off. Hunter Brown's first pitch of the night is a fastball in at the knees for a strike, and we're underway. Nimmo's done on base each of his last 12 games, 287 for the year. Starts the night 9th in the National League at base hits. And that fastball caught the outside corner at the knees, and Brown quickly ahead 0-2.
A little sink on his fastball right there, Garrett.
Hunter Brown is quite the success story. A Detroit kid who was not regarded at all coming out of high school. As he misses down with the slider 1-2. In fact, he only had one Division I offer and turned that down to go to Division II Wayne State. His only Division I offer was to be a catcher and maybe get a chance to pitch. But he went to Wayne State, started throwing harder, got the attention.
And Nimmo strikes out.
See what he's able to do.
One out.
He strikes out Nimmo for the first out of the night.
He also was a wrestler at Wayne State his freshman year and grew up in Detroit and was a Verlander fan and met him in 5th grade. So he's one start away from matching up against Verlander. That would have been something.
He was actually supposed to pitch yesterday, but the Astros decided that Brown needed an extra day, so they plugged in a 6th starter yesterday in their loss to the Reds and pushed Brown back to tonight. So the Mets will get Framber Valdez and Christian Javier, who are the 2 best pitchers on the Astros staff the next 2 days. Houston, despite a whole host of injuries, still has the best ERA of any team in the American League. Starling Marte shoots one foul, and it's 1-1.
When he's been good, he's been very good. As I mentioned, 5 games, he's gone to the 7th inning. 7 of his 11 starts have been quality starts.
Marte had an 8-game hitting streak stopped yesterday when he went 0-5 against the Cardinals. And he hits a weak ground ball. Brown has it on the backhand and takes care of Marte in the second half.
Well, he's got a fastball that runs in on the hands of right-handers. And that just happened right there. Very quick reaction on his part on that broken back ground ball.
So
All right, 2 outs. Lindor coming up.
Homered his first at bat yesterday. 13 home runs this year, but 8 of the 13 have come as a right-hand batter, despite a preponderance of left-handed at-bats, and he's hitting just 197 from this side of the plate. And he fouls off the first pitch fastball from Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown, for his first 20 big league appearances, has a 2.82 ERA. That's the lowest in Houston Astros history. Think about all the pitching talent that has come through the Astros since they started out the first year with the Mets as an expansion team in 1962. He surpassed the mark set by Ken Forsch, who had a 2.90 ERA over his first 20 appearances. Dusty Baker, now in his 4th year as Astros skipper, hired to pick up the pieces after the scandal that rocked the Astros. Trash cans,
Yes.
cheating, and all that, which taints their 2017 World Series championship, but there's no taint attached to last year's title, where they beat the Phillies in 6 games in the World Series and played their second crown in a span of 6 years. 0-2 coming to Lindor, and it's up and away, 1-2.
Brown's big kid, 6'2", 212 pounds.
Comes off 7 scoreless innings against the Nationals his last time out last Tuesday, pitching with an extra day of rest. Ahead on Lindor, 1-2, and he takes
And he strikes out. And the Mets do not score in the top of the first. As you can see, Hunter Brown got a lively arm, goes very hard. A lot of fastballs there, and it's something that the Mets had problems with in this first inning. So we're going to the bottom of the first, no score. Scherzer coming on the mound. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. And if you missed the stream earlier, the Mets Roundtable podcast with me, Chris, and Hayden, check it out. We go over this series. We go over last homestand for the Mets. We talk about the Mets being buyers or sellers, and we also give our predictions for this series and the upcoming series against the Phillies. So make sure you check that out when you get a chance. And once again, guys, this is also a partnership with Say Hello Media. So make sure you follow on Instagram and Twitter as well. They also got a newsletter, blog, and all that fun stuff as well. And they keep on partnering with more and more content creators to bring even more to the family. And it's going to be a lot of fun with Say Hello Media, with me, Say Hello. The Shay and Sons podcast. We got a couple of other people that are popping up that are going to be partners as well. So it's going to be very, very fun for this channel, and of course, Say Hello as well. So make sure you check them guys out on Instagram and Twitter, and now TikTok. So that's where we are at the moment, waiting for the bottom of the first to start. See if Scherzer can not throw his slider a lot, because I think that's his biggest problem. I don't think he's done, as most people said. I do believe that, again, his fastball, changeup, and curveball are still very good. His curveball, yes, lost a tick or two off his miles per hour, but it's still sneaky, and hitters have a hard time hitting it, especially up in the zone. I think he needs to limit his sliders and throw more changeup than curveballs. And, every now and then, sneak in a slider every now and then, but he has to limit those sliders because that's been his one pitch that has been hit hard this year. In his last outing against the Yankees, out of the 9 hits he gave up, 7 of them were on sliders, and they were hit extremely hard. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the first, Mets, Astros, no score, and Scherzer is on the mound.
2019 World Series, he was a Washington National, and the Nats won the World Series that night. Facing Jose Altuve leading off, and Altuve taps the first pitch foul, 0-1. Scherzer coming off one of his worst starts as Met last time out against the Yankees. Gave him a couple of home runs on hanging sliders.
All right, Altuve leading off.
Hits over 3 1/3, and try to bounce back from that.
He needs to pitch a big game for the Mets here.
This is a Houston
Well,
team
that's a nice
very
slider.
aggressive early in counts. They swing at the second highest percentage of first pitches of any team in the majors. And Altuve certainly epitomizes that. He loves to swing the bat. Started out slowly after coming back with a broken thumb that kept him out for the first month and a half.
And strikes out Altuve on 3 pitches. Well, he's throwing those sliders, so I guess he trusts it.
And their Lexus Metropolitan defense, Lindor, of course, brings the ball at shortstop. This has been pretty much the lineup.
Steven, I think you have to do that, but I think it needs to be a little bit better. Mets fan, it's going to be next year, the Mets City Connect. They're going to be the last bunch of teams next year.
It's Alex Bregman. Bregman had a 3-hit game yesterday for the Astros, and he rifles one.
Oh, what a play by Beatty. Nice scoop by Pete. What a play. Woo! All right, Brett. There you go. That's how you save your pitchers right there.
Really hard out on Alex Bregman.
Boy, a bullet right here.
Oof.
Beautiful play.
Beautiful.
Let's hit that hard.
Not a great throw, but Pete was there to scoop it up. Good job. Christopher, I guess so. Maybe, of course. It's probably better than what we have.
Here's Cal Tucker. And Tucker takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Tucker, the best.
Yeah, Steven, but the Mets put themselves in a position now where they have to win series. The hell with home on the road. That's nice, what you said, yeah. But when you put yourself behind the 8 ball here, you have to start winning series, and the hell with being a home on the road. What a play. Beatty back in Texas.
Your reaction. Low ball hitter, Mr. Tucker. He likes that ball down, middle end.
Got him in. Nemo should have it. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Max Scherzer. So Max Scherzer had a nice inning in the first. Nice to see. He was throwing his slider, so he feels good with it. Again, I don't trust that slider, but again, he knows what he likes and what he doesn't like. We'll see if it works today. But good first inning so far. So no score, going to the top of the second. Well, Christopher, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter either way, to be honest with you. I mean, not like personally. I'm just saying, like, if the Mets take this series, the Astros are still the World Series champions. That's not changing. Yeah, VP, we've been saying that forever. I think he should have bat right-handed. He's not doing it. These players are stubborn. A lot of any, if at all, ever stop doing that. So, JL, exactly 7 pitches for Scherzer. So I'll take that every day of the week. But yeah, again, Christopher, look, I appreciate what you're talking about, but again, the Mets win or lose this series, they're still World Series champions, the Astros. So it really doesn't matter. Right? It didn't matter when it got swept against the Reds. The Astros were still World Series champions. And again, in baseball, it's anybody can beat anybody any given day. Ramon, there's no way to trade Lindor. And you could say he's not a leader, and people might not believe that, but he is a leader. Again, when you're performing bad, it's hard to be a leader. But he's the first one at the step. He's the one cheering people on, motivating people, and everything like that with these words. I mean, I don't know what else more you want him to do. All right, top of the second. Scherzer talking to Hefner and Alvarez in the dugout. And now we are going to the top of the second. No score after 1.
Yeah. Get your heads together.
All right, Pete Alonso leading off.
The second inning against Hunter Brown, who
Second game back off the IL for Pete Alonso.
Mets down on pitches in the first inning.
Christopher, I don't even want that. I don't want that GM crap.
Off the injured list yesterday.
He showed some rust.
It would be fun, but that's a terrible pitch for a strike. My lord.
Jacob Betts is the home plate umpire. He's a rookie. First time we've seen him. And he gave a fairly generous call on that first pitch to ground. And I got that one on a fistful on 0-2.
He's got a good little running
Andre, exactly.
fastball on righties.
That's to say hi at first, Brian O'Dora, the crew chief at second. Pat Holberg, one of the best umpires in baseball, at third. With Mets facing the Mets. I suppose he's going to give the Mets a break because he's Mets and they're Mets.
I doubt it.
It's like that's grounded
Ground
down
ball to third, should be an out. And it
is.
is. Well, Mets fan, you can trade Lindor all you want, but he's still actually the best shortstop in baseball. All around, he still is. So I don't know what you want. Like, that's the problem. Like, people don't just look at one stat or two stats and say, oh, he's a bad player. Yet, who would you want?
You're very funny. Pham has been the hottest hitter in the Mets lineup.
All right, Tommy Pham.
I was just
Hot as hot can be.
That old piece of information. Pham had a good series against the Cardinals. He went 4 for 12 against his old team. Last 15 games, he's driven in 17 runs, and he has an 11.22 OPS.
Come on, Tommy.
So hoping that Pham can keep the good times rolling. And he takes a slider out of the strike zone 1-1. Hunter Brown's slider is a cutter slider, but if you call it a slider, it's the hardest slider in Major League Baseball among starting pitchers.
Absolutely. Second to none.
Well,
Nice
you know,
pitch.
Brown doesn't have enough innings to qualify.
Right. But last year, he registered a slider.
Well, Christopher, you have to hope for that if you're a Mets fan. That's what they have to do now. It's very simple.
Goes to his first changeup.
Come on, Tommy.
And that slider off the plate. It's 2-2.
Well, what I've seen thus far on the youngster is that he has that fastball pouring in on right-handers, and he can locate it. It's not easy. A lot of pitchers have a hard time throwing fastballs inside corner to right-hand hitters. There's a slider.
It's really more of a cutter than a slider.
That's a big break right there here for Cutter.
Jeff McNeil waits on deck. 3-2 coming to Pham. And he pulls
Ground
one
ball
down.
right to Bregman.
Bregman handles that one.
And 2 outs. Yeah, everybody says they wanted Seager, but nobody wanted him prior to becoming a free agent.
Keith Marlins are rolling together.
And Wander Franco, that's ridiculous because you were never able to get him. You can want anybody you want. I want Mike Trout. You can't get him, right? Like, of course you would want the guy, but let's be honest. Corey Seager had a terrible year last year. Lindor trumped him
They're 10 games over 500 for the first
in
time
stats.
12
He was an embarrassment last year, Seager.
Jeff McNeil, and he takes that cutter inside for ball 1. Well, the Astros are down 3 starting pitchers. Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers are out for the year. Jose Urquidy's on the sidelines, and yet they continue to pitch brilliantly.
McNeil pops it up, should end the inning.
Should be easy for Jake Myers.
And it is. So Mets don't score in the first 2 innings, and we're going to the bottom of the second. Scherzer coming back on the mound. Again, we can talk about anybody you want, but again, look at the numbers. And, people don't want to talk about defense, but people only talk about defense when they make mistakes, not when they're doing well. Like, that's the problem. Like, do you realize how important defense is? Like, you don't realize that, right? People destroyed Lindor for not turning that double play in Pittsburgh that could have ended the inning, right? Defense matters. Seager's not very good defensively. He's not. His defensive metrics are garbage, right? And Seager is having a good year this year. But you could put a lot of players in that lineup and they'll have better years. The reason why people are looking at, now Seager, but what happened? You didn't want Seager last year when he was playing terrible, right? It works both ways. You can't look at this year and say, "Oh, I'd rather have Seager this year when Lindor is struggling." But last year, would you rather have Seager over Lindor? The Mets probably would have won 101 games if it wasn't for the numbers Lindor put up. It works both ways, guys. That's what people just don't like to see. Yeah, well, Dansby is not very good either, right? He's a good player, but he's not Lindor. Let's be honest. Come on, stop it. Again, you're Dansby's having a good year this year. He ain't putting up the numbers that Lindor is putting up. And Lindor is way better defensively, right? Way better defensively. You know, again, you're bringing up every other shortstop, and it's laughable because Lindor's he's going to be a better shortstop than everybody overall, right? You can't just pick two stats and say, oh, he's better than this guy. You got to look at the overall player. And I can tell you right this, Lindor's defense is going to save you a lot more runs, or is going to win you more games than his offense. Because you see it all the time. The reason why the Phillies were terrible last year until they weren't was because their defense was absolutely putrid. Well, Mets fans, I agree, but he also batted, he was close to 270 last year with 25 home runs and over 100 RBIs. So that's a good, like I said, he's got to get his average up. I'm always a big proponent of average. But if he bats 240, 250 and hits 25 to 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, that's a really good season.
This is such an aggressive team. I mean, everybody's going up there hacking at the first pitch.
People don't want to talk about defense until it hurts their team, and then they complain.
Houston and didn't hit a lick the first 2 months of the season. He was just starting to get it going. Tries to hold the swing, and he went around on that slider away, and it's 0-2.
No, Lindor is better defensively. Bichette makes the beautiful plays, but
Close.
he has more errors than Lindor this year. Lindor has what, 2?
Power go down with the White Sox. He just 15 home runs, but he hit 304 this year. He wasn't hitting, and he wasn't hitting for power.
And he strikes out Abreu. Good job. Well, Scherzer likes his slider tonight. And you know what he's doing with that slider? Keeping it out of the strike zone. That's huge for Scherzer. I'll be right back, guys.
Relief for the Diamondbacks in 2008. Retired all 13 batters he faced with 7 strikeouts. That was his first big league appearance. Yonder Diaz DHing today, the backup catcher takes a strike. And he's been hitting last 13 games, batting .348. Rookie from the Dominican Republic, who was considered the number 2 prospect coming into the season behind Hunter Brown, tonight's Houston starting pitcher. Catcher known more for his bat than for his glove, and he's in there as the DH with Yordan Alvarez out with an oblique injury. When you think about what Judge means to the Yankees, what Alonso means to the Mets, Alvarez may mean even more to the Astros.
Yes. I mean, he's just a big monster. He's like a big Jolly Green Giant. He's just a huge individual.
I saw an enormous stat today about Yordan Alvarez. If you take all the left-hand hitters in Major League history with at least 1,500 plate appearances, there are only 5 with an OPS higher than Yordan Alvarez. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Lou Gehrig, Barry Bonds, Stan Musial. Wow. Yordan Alvarez 6th on that list. Wow. And that's how good he's been.
I like those jerseys actually. It's better than some other ones. I still think the White Sox one is the best one.
Backdrop, dead central.
Well, he's going to be there's a significant amount.
Hey, he strikes him out with the slider. 2 outs. Well, that slider's working. It's keeping it out of the strike zone, so that's important.
They're saying it's going to be at least a month.
Oh, of course. No league here.
Alvarez. He's already been out for what, about 10 days?
This will be the 10th game.
Hey, Ron.
They've had one off day, so it's the 11th day. He's got ways to go. That oblique is so dangerous and such a long heel.
Here's Chas McCormick, the left fielder, and he takes a slider for a strike. And
Getting a lot of outside calls on both sides for the pitchers.
The Yankees appears to be putting it exactly where he wants it so far tonight. McCormick missed some time with some back troubles. He's had just 127.
I'm good, Ron.
bats,
How are
so
you?
six Slider in the third.
It's a good lineup for Scherzer, too. Only one left-hander in the lineup. So he can really go to work on that hard slider that he's throwing so far.
I want to hear some really happy return from injury news. Joey Votto was activated today.
And where are you going to play him?
First at bat in 10
Isn't Beatty your third baseman?
Rotator
You were
cuff.
one of those guys that said, let the kids play.
Home run.
Now you're going to get another veteran? Come
How
on.
about that? Think things are going well enough for the Reds. Now they get Votto back. Warwick skies one behind first base.
This might stay in play, and McNeil gets it for the out and ends the inning in foul territory. So, 2 very good innings for Max Scherzer. He's putting up zeros so far. And again, that slider is looking really good and hasn't thrown many in the strike zone. And I think that's what he wants to do, is keep it out of the strike zone, because it has a lot of movement. But if you leave it in the zone, they're going to get killed. Well, Mets fan, maybe. And you could say it's Shohei or bust, but maybe. Chris, I think it's both. I think mentally can really take a part in messing with you physically as a player, but it really depends. It depends on the individual. So once again, guys, the Mets are coming up in the top of the third, no score after 2. Scherzer's looking good, but we also saw that last time out. Had a solid 3 innings, and then came the 4th inning for Scherzer. And we'll see if that continues, but Scherzer didn't have a slider at all against the Yankees. Right now he has his slider, which is his go-to pitch, and we'll see if he can continue that. See if the Mets can put some runs up on the board for him. So once again, guys, please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in the stream. We're at 62 right now. I do expect about 100. As always, you guys always come and show support, so I do appreciate that. And once again, make sure you check out the last 2 podcasts I did, the 2 shows, the Shea Bridge show with Hayden, and of course today, the Mets Roundtable podcast with Chris and Hayden for our discussions about the past 2 series and what to look for in this series as well, predictions and all that fun stuff. And if the Mets should be buyers or sellers at a certain point, probably very, very soon. We definitely have a difference of opinions when it comes to being buyers or sellers. It'd be very interesting to look at that, because it was a very interesting conversation because we didn't agree. So that's something that is always a fun debate. So make sure you check that out when you get a chance. So waiting for the commercial to end, going to the top of the third. Everybody's favorite hitter, Daniel Vogelbach, is going to be leading off for our New York Mets. And we'll see if he can he's been putting the bat on the ball for the most part. So I guess he's swinging, I guess, right? That's good. So here we go, guys. Top of the third, no score.
A little glass of Cabernet. I think a dark beer would go well with that.
Beer would work, and also a red Zen. Nice with all that.
You overwhelm me with your knowledge. And Vogelbach, 2 for 7 with a home
Oh!
run in the series against the Cardinals.
If that stays fair, that might be gone.
Be a line right toward the pole, and that ball is-
Yeah! Daniel Vogelbach just gets it over the wall. 1-0 Mets. Oh, for all you people that did not want him in the lineup, he just gave the Mets a 1-0 lead. So he's swinging the bat now, which is nice to see. 1-0 Mets. Daniel Vogelbach. Solo home run in the third. 1-0 Mets. Here we go.
Was a skyscraping home run to give the Mets the early 1-0 lead.
All right. Vogie put some power in his bat. So 2 home runs over his last, 10 at-bats. So there we go. Again, if he can just provide some power, a little bit more power, that's where he likes it. Oh, that's just right down the middle. Ground ball, and that's a base hit up the middle. All right. There we go.
changeup and hits it up the middle. Betts was back-to-back.
Listen, if he doesn't do anything else but hit home runs, I'll take that. Give me a little less on base percentage and a little bit more home runs, and that's going to help this lineup even more.
He likes to pull, and he's very strong and unusual for a left-hand hitter. Likes the ball belt high and up, and he knew he made a mistake right there.
7th home run, Browns alive.
All right, Alvarez up, nobody out, 1 on.
Oh,
and that's a foul ball.
It's foul at the plate.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
Alvarez just 2 hits in his last 16 at-bats. Back at the 9-hole where he had a lot of success early on in his stint with the Mets. Beatty at first and nobody out, and Alvarez fouls one back.
Alvarez hit 4 balls in the air on yesterday's ball game and really has gone to a little bit of an uppercut. They moved him up in the order in the 2-hole, but then they put him in the 5 and 6, and they now, I think, maybe trying to do too much in that power roll. They moved him back down in the 9-hole.
Yeah, that's a base hit. 3 hits in a row in this inning. First and second, nobody out with the top of the lineup coming on. There we go. Again, everybody wants Alvarez at the in the middle part of the order, but he looks a lot more comfortable in that 9 spot. I know people don't like it, but it brings some threat in the bottom of the order. And the Mets offense looks really good with him batting 9th, and he looks like he's more comfortable there. So I think that's what you should do.
In any event, the Mets have 2 on and nobody out. Brandon Nimmo coming up.
Come on.
Brandon didn't get up for one in his last outing against the Nationals in 7 innings. Gets touched for a quick one here in the 3rd, and now the Mets with a chance for more. Nimmo was struck out his first time up. Bregman will in on the cutout at 3rd base.
Come on, Brandon, let's go.
Where teams played Nimmo as though he's going to bunt. What's the chance of that? And Nimmo drives one to center field.
That might drop.
He'll get there to make the catch.
Right.
And that's the first out of the
I like that, being aggressive there. 1 out.
But we'll see what Bregman plays with Marte.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, he got moved up in the lineup, and he struggled. You know what? If he's comfortable in the 9th spot, leave him there. If he's going to help us either way. All right, let's see what Marte can do here.
Marte broke his bat in a comeback.
First and second, nobody out. Can't just get 1 run here.
1 out. And Marte takes a curveball to dirt for ball 1. Marte, after an 8-game hitting streak, now hitless in his last 8 at-bats. Brown can get ground balls.
Come on, Starler, let's go.
Boring fastball of his.
Good eye, good eye.
2 straight curveballs to Marte and falls behind 2-0.
Yeah, easy. He's been struggling with runners in scoring position. Without anybody on base, he's been getting on. But with runners on base, he struggled a lot. I think he's batting under 200 with runners on. And that's not Marte at all.
Pitcher of the year.
Went after that low pitch. Should have been ball 3.
Not happy with himself. They can play with his hat. One to Marte. And he hits one toward the middle.
Base hit. That's going to get a run in. There we go. 2-0 Mets. Yes. That's what the Marte we've seen last year. Good job. 2-0, first and second, 1 out. There we go. Good job. Didn't try to do too much. Get it up the middle.
Marte's kept that shoulder in nicely.
Good secondary lead for Beatty, and he scores easily. Good job. Keep it coming. Come on. Come on, Francisco.
The break to his left to be able to get to that ball.
And that's a ball.
Maybe won a Gold Glove as a rookie last year. He was also the MVP of the ALCS and of the World Series. That's a rookie year. Lindor Lindor struck out his first time up. Almore is now at second. Marte at first.
Oof.
Lindor fouls off that.
Lindor just missed that one. God, gotta level out that swing, man. That lefty swing is just so much uppercut.
Francisco trying to fight out of what has been a season-long puzzling year. The RBIs have been there, the extra bases hits have been there, but the consistency has gone. And the strikeouts are coming at a much higher rate than he's accustomed to. Brown this year has been effective more so against lefties than against righties.
Yeah, but goodbye.
Deep right field. Back goes Tucker. Back to the warning track at the wall. And it's out.
Yeah, 5-0 Mets. There we go. 3-run homer from Francisco Lindor and 5 runs scored in the third inning for the Mets. Good job. There we go. Let's go. Are we talking about the lineup now? I don't think so. 5-0 Mets in the third. There we go. Good job, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That might have been hit right by Grant. Grant sent me a picture. I'm going to see if he caught that ball. Let's go. Oh, whoa. Okay.
2 home runs in this inning. And Hunter Brown coming up and in with his first pitch to a line.
Easy, you ain't freaking kidding, man. Another big lead to give Scherzer. You better hold it. Come on, Pete. Take him deep. You try to go headhunting there. Come on. There we go. The fist pump from Marte. That's what I like to see.
His compadre there has been struggling from that side of the plate.
I mean, it's just so weird. He's got 57.
Well, you mid. You like to have everybody else, right? I'm telling you. He's going to put up the numbers. I'm not worried about that. The average got to get up more, but give me 25 or more home runs and 100 RBIs. I take that every day of the week. Good eye, Pete. Good eye. Get this guy completely out of his game. This is the game where you got to put them out of their misery early. This game needs to be a blowout at this point now. Come on, Pete, run it out. Oh, almost botched that throw, 2 outs.
Short arm there from Jeremy Pena, 2 outs.
Careless arrow, but not an error, but a careless throw.
So 2 out and nobody on that. Tommy Pham grounded out to third base his first time up. Pham, the 8th man up in the inning. The Astros have not been winning games lately.
Grant just said that that Lindor home run was 8 seats down where that ball was landed.
Best staff ERA in the American League.
I agree, easy. Come on, Tommy.
He dominated the first 2 innings of this game. 6 up, 6 down, on just 23 pitches for the third inning.
I agree. This next inning, I want zeros. Put up a 0. Mets pitcher hasn't been doing that lately, and that's a big problem. Come on, Tommy, let's go.
Tommy takes a strike. Luis Arias just got another hit. 4 for 4. 398. He might hit 400. Here's the 2-1. And
Ball 3.
Inside.
Just inside.
And now Brown behind 3-1.
Look at Pham, and it looks like he's leaning forward, but it's not. It's an optical illusion for the center field camera.
Explosive. Look good so far.
Tucks that shoulder, puts his chin under. Looks like he's leaning forward, but he's not.
Ball 4. Good at bat by Tommy Pham. Said that a lot this last couple of weeks for Tommy.
5 hits in this inning. And Jeff McNeil will be the 9th man up. And the Astros pitching coach, Bill Murphy, will head out to the mound.
Pitching coach coming to the mound. Mets lead 5-0
Well, things have not
in the
gone
third.
swimmingly for
Again, we've seen this before.
That's the
Mets gave leads to their pitching staff, and they tend to slowly give it back. And next inning, I want to see zeros from Scherzer. Get your offense back out there. They're hot right now. Get them back up. You know what I mean? Have a good night, buddy.
Houston, they like the uniforms, Keith. You march into these spaces.
Safe driving, buddy, when you get back up. Come on.
I mean, the Astros have had so many different color schemes over the years. You can't really say it's not their colors. I mean, look at the socks that Altuve's wearing. Those are reminiscent of the 70s and 80s Astros multicolored uniform.
Oh, I remember those uniforms well. I never was fond of those uniforms. The orange, but you know what? A lot of great players wore that uniform. Pretty good pitching staff.
Agrees, 100%. It's 100% on the pitching now. The offense did their job. But never hurts to tack on more runs.
Mike Scott.
Mike Scott and Glenn Bryant both wore orange and blue as well.
That's right.
We gave the Cards one foul, and it's 0-2. Danny Vogelback, who began this inning with a home run, is now on deck. Well, the Mets have had games this year where they have been able to put up big run totals. They have not necessarily won those games. Yesterday was an example. Put up 7 runs and lost. The 6th time this year they've scored 7 and lost. They lost only 2 last year. So many stories to this season for this team, and so many reasons to think that it has a chance to turn around. It's just that it hasn't.
Well, there's a reason why there's so many stories, Gary, is that they're searching, they're groping for answers.
And anything like this can certainly be an encouragement.
Come on, Jeff.
To McNeil. And he gets curveball and pulls a foul.
That is
Well, making this kid work.
pitch of the inning.
Making it work.
Yeah, McNeil has been the one guy in the lineup lately that's been really struggling.
Putting innings to bed.
He needs to just start getting singles again. Start with that and then work your way up.
That has not gotten better in this inning.
And McNeil strikes out. That ends the inning, but not before. The Mets put a 5 spot in the 3rd inning, and they hit around. Mets with lead 5-0. Vogelback, solo home run. Marte, RBI single. And the 3-run homer from Francisco Lindor to cap off that inning. 5-0 Mets going to the bottom of the 3rd. A lot of game left, guys. But, again, it's coming down to the pitching. You got a 5-run lead now. Scherzer needs to come out in his bottom half, put up a 0, and get your lineup right back out there. Right? You know, in this situation here, the worst thing you can do is walk guys. Challenge the hitters at this point, right? A solo home run doesn't really necessarily hurt you, right? You got to challenge them. So let's see what Scherzer can do. We got a 5-run lead now, right? In the Yankee series, he had a 4-run lead. In the Brave series, he had a 3-run lead. So his last 2 starts, the Mets gave him leads, and he did not hold those leads. See if it changes tonight against the Astros. We shall see. And listen, could we actually finally kick a team when they're down? The Astros are down right now. They're struggling. It's about time that we kick somebody when they're down, when we're the ones getting kicked. It's about time that happens. Let's see if that happens. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Talking Mets with Rob. Mets Astros, game 1 of the series, game 72 of the New York Mets season in 2023. Hit on that like button. If you're a new subscriber of the channel, say what's up in the chat. Do not be shy. And, of course, check out the rest of the channel, the Mets Roundtable podcast, the Shea Bridge Show, shows that are very fun to watch because there's a lot of debates, a lot of disagreements, a lot of rants, and it's always a lot of fun picking up people's just mindset and vibes when it comes to this Mets team. Yes, a lot of negative this year, but it is a lot of fun to get people together and have a conversation with like-minded Met fans and of course, content creators on YouTube and on other platforms as well. So check that out. Tonight we had Chris and Hayden hang out with me on the Roundtable podcast, on the Mets Roundtable podcast. So check that out. So here we go. Bottom of the third. Scherzer coming up. Coming to on the mound. See if he can put up a 0 in the bottom of the third.
Veteran against the Mets over the years, 56 games over 500 flat. That's beat him when it counted the most. Championship Series, 1986. Max Scherzer's taken to a 5-0 lead. Jeremy Pena leads off. Well, in his last start against the Yankees, Scherzer had himself a 5-1 lead and couldn't hold it. See how he does with this one. Retired his first 6 batters. Pena shoots one through the right.
And that's a base hit.
To right field for a base hit.
All right. Wasn't hit hard, but right. Hit it where they ain't at the moment.
He's going up the middle all the way, gets the fastball away.
I'm trying to get ahead. I don't mind them challenging there.
Jake Myers, the center fielder.
I agree, Izzy. So Scherzer to the stretch for the first time in the game.
Ball upstairs for ball one. Myers missed a huge chunk
This
of
is
left
another
here.
reason why the slider has been a problem. He hasn't been throwing it well from the stretch.
Center fielder, and so they run him out there as often as they can. He lines one to left field, coming across.
And nice catch by Tommy. Good job.
Tommy got a good break on that ball.
Well, there was that slider. From the stretch, he does not have a lot of movement on that slider. But good play by Pham picking up his pitcher there. Wasn't a good pitch.
Yeah, it's an interesting configuration for sure in left field. Only 315 down the left field line.
19-foot high fence with the scoreboard. The Crawford boxes above it leads to some cheap right-handers home runs. Martin Maldonado takes curveball for a strike.
And then, as you get out into the gap, it goes straight across, so it doesn't really get much deeper. Probably around 320 right there where it goes back to 366.
A weird angle, and then you've got the much higher home run line, and then you've got the pillars out there that the ball can come very hard off.
And then note that 366, you go to Wrigley Field, which is always the smallest park in the National League.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but I heard it's really nice. Looks good on TV.
No wind here. Bruce close. Maldonado, who last week hit his 100th career home run, has always been a low average hitter. Lifetime 207 batter. Now his 11th big league season. 5th year with the Astros.
Been hanging around a long time if you can catch.
He's an outstanding defensive catcher. Teams value him for that.
Come on, Max.
Picks that one out of the dirt.
See that slider from the stretch. He just doesn't throw his slider well and from the stretch right now.
Top 5 of the Cy Young Ballot.
Johnny?
Well,
I agree.
a great pitcher.
Yeah, easy. I'll never forget. I was in North Carolina hanging out with my family when he made that catch on the hill in center field. Oof. Good pitch. Didn't get that strike call, but it was a good pitch. That was a long game. Yes, it was.
But Max got himself a little tightened up on the hair there. Looks like he's got some short little cut.
Come on, Max.
He was trying to get some of that same mojo. There is now homered in back-to-back games. The runner goes. That's throw to left.
And another one right hit to Tommy Pham. Ooh, almost doubled him up. Well, them balls are getting hit hard, but right at Pham. I'll take it.
Maldonado with Pena running, and Pena just able to get back in time.
That damn slider on the stretch.
He's 2 bullets in a row, and then runners running right at. Tommy's got a strong arm.
With the crack of the bat, saw the baseball. Able to do the right thing. So 2 out. Pena still at first. Jose Altuve, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up.
This is Altuve's 19th start of the year.
Yeah, that slider. Can't get that slider moving from the stretch. Popped it up. Should end the inning. And it does. So he puts up that 0. Wasn't pretty, but he put up the 0. Mets coming back up in the top of the 4th. 5-0 Mets. So, again, you see what it does. From the stretch, that slider has no movement. It's right over the plate. So, the key to success for tonight with Scherzer, don't get nobody on base because that's when he gets into trouble. You got to pitch from the windup. And if he does that, you see the slider is much better from the windup than from the stretch. But he gets a 0 in the 3rd, which is what we wanted. Not exactly how we pitched it, but I'll take it. Top of the 4th, 5-0 Mets. Mets coming up. So the Mets will have Vogelback, Beatty, Alvarez, the way it started in the last inning when they scored their 5 runs. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Mets, Astros, game 1 of a 3-game set. Road trip for the Mets. 3 in Houston, 3 in Philadelphia. So we'll see. We will see, guys. Again, it's nice to have a lead, but it's also nice to hold the lead, which has been few and far between. Again, I already brought it up. Again, we already scored 5 runs, right? The Mets have lost 10 games this year when they scored 6 runs or more. That's ridiculous. Can't happen. Andre, well, you can't use the windup because then the base runner would steal every base. So you have to pitch from the stretch. Unless the runner is on 3rd, then you could probably pitch from the windup. But when you're on 1st and 2nd, you don't do that. Or you got runners on, you just don't do that. All right. So we'll see if the Mets can put up, tack on runs, right? It's been a problem with the lineup a little bit where they don't tack on the runs. They let it get, they stay stagnant for a couple of innings and teams slowly get back in the game. So I would like to see tack on runs, get 2 runs in this inning, give us a very comfortable lead where the pitcher really has to blow up to really get them back into the ball game. So with that said, top of the 4th, Mets lead 5-0. Daniel Vogelback leading off.
We're on Hunter Brown. Steve, welcome back. You look tan after your vacation.
No, I don't, but I appreciate it, and that's why I love you guys for lying to me and making me feel good. Hunter Brown, though, by the way, that's quite the transition, Garrett. That's why you are the best. And Keith mentioned that in the 1st inning, Hunter Brown grew up in Detroit idolizing Justin Verlander, so much so that watching when he delivers the baseball here is
Ground ball.
Dan Vogelback.
And that's 1 out.
One away. His delivery mimics almost exactly Justin Verlander. So really pay attention to the hands, the way he drops his hands, and then the way he comes over top, really over the top delivery. It's all because of watching Justin Verlander as a kid growing up in Detroit. And I asked Verlander about meeting Hunter Brown before they were teammates together. He said a couple of years ago in spring training.
Easy. I said that all the time. 5 runs win your ball game. 78% of Major League Baseball games are won by that team that scores 5 runs. So that's on MLB's average right there. So that should win your ball games. But it is the Mets.
Collected their baseball cards.
Come on, Brett.
Revitalized them. And now all of a sudden you're on the same field with them, sometimes in the same locker room. It's it'll shake you up a little bit. It's like, pinch me. I'm here. Did you have a guy who you idolized as a kid who you wound up playing with?
Playing with?
Yeah, like against.
Well, Willie McCovey would have to be the one. And I got my photo taken with Willie in St. Louis when I was very young.
Nice pitch on the outside corner.
That was a good throw for me. How about guys who have told you that they grew up idolizing you? Trying to think. Mark
Ball
Grace
3.
was 17.
Good at bat by Beatty.
He was a little bit, maybe 8 years younger than me. So he would have been. It's the guys that when you're in high school who you idolize. You're getting close to getting into college or getting drafted. 3-2 to Brett Beatty.
And he strikes out on a slider. 2 outs.
Fourth strikeout for Brown. I know Alex Rodriguez always speaks about you being his favorite player.
Yes, he does. I actually met Alex when he was a client for Scott Morris. Alex was in either college or high school, and I was in Florida, and I drove down as a favor to Scott and met Alex when he was like 18, high school.
Yeah, Miami. He was in the big leagues when he was 18. Here's Francisco Alvarez. And base hit to left his first time up. And that's 5-run third inning. So let's watch the motion and see if we can see.
Yeah, easy. You know, I was thinking the same thing when he brought that. When you start remembering older players, you're like, oh, getting up there.
A little different result, but I can see it.
Ball 3.
The
All right.
dropping the hands part, that's
Alvarez can turn over this lineup, get the top of the order back up. I'll take it.
I mean, when I was,
Alien, what's up? Alien, Houston, space. Perfect timing. Ball 4. Alvarez gets on with 2 outs to turn over the lineup to the leadoff spot. Nemo coming up.
I had Mickey Mantle's poster.
I love those type of at-bats. With 2 outs, I always love to see a batter get on base. It always kind of keeps them, the pitchers, you know, thinking a little bit there and got to throw more pitches. Always nice.
Love that photo. Love that poster.
Alien, wouldn't that be nice? Oh, can't get that ball. 5 balls in a row.
Yeah, 5-5. Another one. His third 5-hit game already this year, and he's back up to 400.
That is absolutely remarkable.
Marlins are up 10-0 on the Blue Jays in the 8th. Down to win their 5th in a row.
They beat up on Barrios. Jeez, that's not an easy chore.
And they basically are throwing a shutout with the bullpen game today. Ryan Howitt started with 4 innings, and the rest of the bullpen picked up from there.
Tom Brennan. Good eye.
And they change up outside. Let's do one to Nemo. Brown started tonight like a house of fire. Ripped through the Mets for the first 2 innings, but they knocked him back on his heels in the 3rd.
Yeah, he's coming off a great start last time out, too, against the Nationals. 7 innings. It was a shutout ball.
And curveball drops in for
Nice
a strike.
curveball.
It's
2 up. 2-2.
The way we said Joey Votto homered his first at bat off the IL. It was his second at bat. Okay, but you know the notion still holds after 10 months out.
And Nemo strikes out to end the inning. Mets still are leading 5-0, going to the bottom of the 4th. All right, so didn't score in that inning. You know, got to tack on runs. You know, it's nice to have a 5-run lead, but I like to see tack on runs. Tack on runs, just, you know, you see what the Cardinals did yesterday to the Mets, right? Every time the Mets got a little bit close, they tacked on a run. Every time they got closer, they tacked on a run. That is demoralizing for the opponent. That's what the Mets have to do. Yeah, Todd, we are. But you know what? That's why these game one, the first game of the series is so important, because winning game 1 of a series, if it's a 3-game series, guarantees you a chance of winning the series the next 2 games. That's why game 1 is so important in these 3-game series. And again, you know, the Mets have to start winning series, right? You can, you know, we love sweeps. That would be nice, obviously, all the time. But realistically, winning series could change a lot of things, right? Winning series puts you on the right track, and that's what the Mets have to do. They have to just think about 1 game at a time and winning series. Ooh, that's a good one, Easy. 99.06 last year. Last year was fun. 06, I don't think 06 was very you know what? 06 was pretty damn good though. 99 had a lot of, like, you know, journeyman type of guys, you know, guys that really had career years. That's tough. I like all those years though. It's hard to. I would say 06. 06, I think the Mets had one of the best teams in baseball. Their lineup was dangerous. Unfortunately, they didn't have a great rotation in 06, and that probably was their downfall. When Oliver Perez was throwing, 99 was underrated, but I like 06. I think 06 can go against any lineup in baseball in that year. Their pitching was like subpar, but yeah, I would go with 06. All right, bottom of the fourth coming up. Mets lead 5-0.
Your Indeed player resume on Alex Bregman. Himself a star-studded career. Coming out of LSU was the second pick of the draft in 2015.
He's slumped, and he kind of coming out of it. Got 3 hits yesterday.
Hey,
And popped it up. Is he going to stay in play?
Alvarez hoping for a play right to the
And it goes out of play.
Bregman certainly thought he had a base hit his first time up. He ripped one to the left side, and Brett Beatty made an outstanding play to dive and throw him out.
And I think it's official now. Francisco Alvarez does take his mask off on pop-up.
So they encouraged him to. They worked with him on it. Glenn Sherlock gets a lot of the credit for convincing him that catch more of them if he takes the mask off, as most catchers do. It's all part of the learning process. For a 21-year-old catcher being asked to carry an offensive load and
Well, the bullpen would have been even better if they had Juan Sanchez didn't get into that taxi accident.
remarkable job. Plays off the slider 2-2. Scherzer first 2 innings had.
I agree. I think the Mets would have beat the Tigers as well.
Get a little bit of that back the last 2 innings.
Come on, Max.
2-2 coming.
Oof, nice pitch.
Got a foul ball
Fouled it
on
off,
that
though.
slider.
Saw Max's reaction.
Everybody, I'll be right back.
Didn't like where that slider was. It wasn't so plate. Something he's very cognizant of. Just preparing whatever it is that is befuddled him with his slider.
2-2 coming. He misses low away with a fastball.
Did you notice too, Gary, that I have not seen Max throw this many fastballs on the outside corner to right-hand hitters? He always likes to pop them in when he goes away with secondary pitches.
And he strikes out Bregman with a slider right in the middle of the plate.
So that is a change, right? There's a change up here.
Right.
Change, a beautiful change. But he taps on the mound there with that landing foot. Big stride. Powerful.
Well, that put-out pitch for Scherzer is not really the slider anymore. He can use that changeup, and that might be gone. And, well, that camera looked like it was gone. 2 outs. Just got under it. 2 outs. Good job.
2 out of nobody on.
That's twice he's gotten in on the hands. Just in enough on Tucker.
Well, difference for Scherzer in this game so far? Location, location, location.
So Scherzer's faced 12 batters, retired.
I'm telling you, his stuff is there. He's got to locate. He doesn't throw as hard anymore. He's got to locate his pitches. Nice pitch.
He's really got that flat little. Is that a slider, Gary? That's flat, or is that his cutter?
It's a slider. Doesn't throw his cutter to lefties.
Right.
To righties, he only throws it to lefties.
He's getting a lot of break. He's keeping it away. It's a good pitch.
He throws a fastball, and Brady pops it up.
Popped up, should end the inning.
And Marte with the easy play.
And it does. So, 4 scoreless innings for Max Scherzer. And the Mets are coming back up in the top of the 5th. 5-0 Mets. Can the Mets tack on some damn runs? That would be freaking nice. Oh, sorry, guys. I am looking at some media person, digital creator that just followed me on Twitter and Instagram as I did back. So once again, guys, Max is on, but be careful when you say that, okay? Again, his slider is looking a lot better. And again, that's why when people say, "Oh, he's done," you got to look at the overall picture of that game, the whole scope of that game. And again, I wanted people to really watch the Yankee game over. Don't watch in the moment because you get a little, your mind's going crazy because you're pissed off, you're losing the game. You had a lead, now you don't. I went back after I got home from the game and I watched the game over again because the emotions settled down a little bit and you watch the game. Scherzer's fastball, changeup, and curveball were nasty, and they could not touch that. His slider wasn't working, and when he threw that slider, they did damage. And that's when you say, is he done? No, because today his sliders worked. Sometimes when you don't have a pitch, you get comfortable with a certain pitch. You get stubborn, and you throw it knowing that's your best pitch. But if you don't have it tonight, even great pitchers get stubborn with throwing pitches that they're so used to being their go-to pitch, and they get stubborn and they use it, and he got in trouble. And it's not that he's done, because you can see, right? Look how sharp his slider is today, right? All his pitches are working today, right? So that means he's done? No. It just means sometimes you just got to be a better pitcher. You got to locate better. And tonight, so far, through 4, he's located. And I think that's the most important thing for him. Well, Andre, that is true. All right, so they're showing in the dugout, Alvarez and Scherzer talking to each other. Top of the 5th, Mets lead 5-0. And it would be Marte, Lindor, and Alonso, 2, 3, 4 for the Mets in the 5th.
The rookie here. So this is wonderful. It's all good stuff.
Marte ground ball right to Bregman. Hard hit, but Bregman is a vacuum over there.
We've seen enough of Alvarez here now that we know that he is engaged with his pitcher.
By the way, guys,
At all about
these new Skippy wafer bars are like the best thing ever. They started selling them at Costco. These things are like crack. I'm not even gonna lie. So don't mind me eating. I'm starving, guys. All right, Lindor is up. Last time up, hit a 3-run homer.
Veteran Scherzer, and also, Carrasco's a veteran. All of them, they open the door for him too. You shut the door on him and make it difficult for him, but they haven't. So it's all part of being teammates here.
Brown started through his curveball more after getting scraped in the 3rd inning. He had a home run to Lindor, one of the 2 home runs he allowed in that inning, a 3-run shot for Lindor. Now has 48 runs batted in.
Keith, you talk about these veterans opening the door for him too. I think a lot of that is Alvarez earning it himself. I mean, every single day he will watch the video of himself catching from the night before just to figure out what he's doing well and what he needs to improve upon. He does that on a daily basis.
Lindor popped it up.
Respect the work that he puts in.
2 outs. Lindor is mad at himself because that was a ball that he hit for a home run in his last at bat.
Steve, did you miss us this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit. It was my son's 4th birthday, so yeah, it was Jason's 4th birthday.
For 3 days?
Yep, it was a 3-day affair.
Are you going to? We got 2 off days in Philly. Are you going home?
No, I'm not going home.
Why?
No, you know why.
Don't tell me.
No, you asked the question because you know the answer. Friday night, Apple TV doing the game, meaning Mr. Wayne Randazzo's triumphant return. So, we're getting a nice little dinner together on Thursday night in Philly.
Who's picking up the tab?
Oh, that's Wayne.
I mean, now that he's, come into, some greater assets.
Yeah, you can go ahead and say it, Garrett. Everybody knows what you're talking about. He's doing well for himself.
So where are you going to have him take you? Someplace nice?
Well, I can't tell you that because the Mets fans would be all over it. You know that.
Is Bookbinder still open? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
That's from a fusty generation a long time
Come on,
ago.
Pete.
all I'll tell you is
Still a lot of fun.
2-out home run would be nice.
all I will tell you guys is that for the 7 or so years that we were together on the beat, whenever Wayne would choose a restaurant, it was an okay restaurant, but the price point was kind of at the top of the of the criteria that he looked at. But this place that he picked for Thursday night, high-end stuff.
Top shelf.
Top shelf.
All right, we'll do
Well,
one
Pete.
full report on Saturday. 1-2 Alonso, and he pulled up. He did not. He went around.
And that ends the inning. Going to the bottom of the fifth, 5-0 Mets. And just so you guys know, on Friday against the Phillies, it is Apple TV broadcast. No SNY, no anything. Nationally is Apple TV. So I should be doing the game. I'll let you guys know because I know a lot of people don't got Apple TV, Plus. So I'll probably do the game because a lot of people like to join the stream when Apple is doing the game. But you're gonna have Wayne Randazzo doing the Apple game, so you'll get a familiar voice for the Mets game. So that would be good. So, but we will get that going, and we'll have a stream for that night against the Phillies for game 1 of this series. Yeah, I know that's a problem. But you know what? This time last year, I think the Mets already had 2 Apple TV games. So this is the first one of the year. So I can't complain that much. Yeah, Todd, but you know what though? Johan was also hurt. Remember, after that no-hitter, he went downhill from there. And that was because of injury, right? Verlander, again, I don't worry about K rates as much. But you know what? I don't think K rate is advertisement for great pitchers because everybody strikes out in baseball now, right? Having a ton of strikeouts doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a good pitcher. That just means the batters actually suck. I mean, I guarantee you, but 85% of probably more than that of hitters have 200 strikeouts. It's a ridiculous stat nowadays. You know, strikeouts are getting like wins and losses for pitchers now. Like it's an irrelevant stat. It's still a nice stat, but everybody strikes out now in baseball. You know, every batter seems like when they have more than 500 at bats have 200 strikeouts. So is that on the pitcher or is that just the batter just because of the launch angle swings now strike out in a more rapid pace? So we're going to the bottom of the fifth. Mets lead 5-0. 1 hit given up for Scherzer so far. Let's see if he can put up some zeros again and get into the middle of this ball game with a lead.
Yes.
Easy. Apple TV is annoying because delay is annoying, and everybody has different delays when you stream something. So ground ball should be 1 out. There you go. 1 pitch, 1 out. You know, the problem with that is like, you know, my stream might be a little quicker than yours or slower than yours, so it's all over the place. But we'll do it together.
One of the best in the league. And then the big game on Wednesday, Tyler McGill against Christian Javier.
Come on.
Also upper echelon.
Let's go, Max. 41 pitches for Scherzer with 1 out in the 5th. Great pitch count so far.
And McCormick takes fastball inside for ball 1.
Well, the Astros only have 1 lefty on their bench and 1 lefty in the lineup in Tucker, which means they are very vulnerable to tough right-hand pitching. This is set up nicely for the Mets as far as having Scherzer out there than Verlander.
It's a very oddly constructed Houston roster in that regard, in that they have very little left-hand hitting, especially without Yordan Alvarez. And they also have no lefties in their bullpen.
Correct. They have 9 right-handers.
Now, their bullpen's been fantastic, and they've got a bunch of righties who do a great job getting lefties out, but it's really odd to see
Come on, Max.
very little lefty hitting and no lefty bullpen. McCormick lays off the slider out of the strike zone. It's 3-1.
No, they DFA'd him easy.
Max hasn't walked the batter tonight. He struck out 4. Now it's 3,257 strikeouts, 12th all-time. 85 point. He'll catch Phil Negro for 11. He's 20 ahead of Justin Verlander, who was right behind him on that all-time strikeout list. And
Ooh, nice pitch.
Fastball. It's 3-2.
That fastball had a little bit of a cut to it.
Reds on deck.
See, only 93 miles an hour, but when you locate it, that ball was low on the strike zone, and he swung over it.
Who's happy thoughts for Max? 3-2 coming.
Got him.
Chase for strike 3.
2 outs.
strikeouts now for Scherzer. He's now retired 8 in a row.
Again, that slider is working from the windup. So, 47 pitches for Scherzer with 2 outs in the 5th. Yeah, Andre, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why when people talk about bullpen names, every year, bullpens are hit or miss. Seawalls is the closer for Seattle.
The only base runner. Rounded one through the hole on the right side for a base hit in the 3rd.
And look how dominant Montero was last year. He was dominant in the playoffs.
Last year in the postseason at 345.
Ground ball right to Scherzer, and that ends the inning. 5 shutout innings for Max Scherzer. 1 hit through 5 and has under 50 pitches. So Mets still got a 5-0 lead going to the top of the 6th. Yeah, bullpens are volatile nowadays. I don't care what names you have on there because Ottavino had a 2 ERA last year and now he has over a 4 ERA this year. It just is what it is. And that's why when people go crazy about names for bullpens, I don't necessarily care. Just give me arms and just hope they work out. That's the way it is, right? Again, just look at the Phillies last year. I keep on bringing them up because they're a perfect example of a team who had one of the worst bullpen ERAs in baseball last year. Yet, they were one of the better bullpen teams in the last month and a half of the season. And they looked really well in the playoffs. So you can't predict those things. Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Mariano, I mean, come on. I mean, look at Class A from the Guardians. You couldn't even hit him last year. This year, he's actually there. Dog, Verlander's not pitching today. It's Scherzer. He's pitching well. Yeah, easy, but you know what? That was the Wilpon. So I'm not, you can't blame this regime because of that. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Let's go, guys. Hit on that like button. Got almost 80 watching right now. Let's go. Let's get them likes up, guys. Dog pound. Love the icon. Yeah, but I don't think Wheeler was overpriced, though, because that was a pretty good deal that the Phillies gave him. It was something that the Mets should have easily matched, to be honest. They never offered him anything because the Wilpons were cheap bastards. So we're going to the top of the 6th. Mets lead 5-0. Scherzer, 5 shutout innings and only 1 hit, and he has under 50 pitches on the night. So that's a good sign from Scherzer. And again, that's why when people just, blatantly say out there, Scherzer's done, and you see a game like this, it's just location sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have it. So here we go. Pham leading off, 5-0 Mets, top 6.
Pham has rounded out the walk tonight, and he fouls off the first pitch curveball from Hunter Brown, who, other than that one bad inning,
Dog, I do.
Terrific.
I know him.
Base runner.
Met him many times at Citi Field. And that's a base hit. Going to the wall to see if it's a double. It's going to be a tough play, and he is safe. So that is a leadoff double for Tommy Pham. Good job. Good hustle by Tommy. Andre, I'll take it as long as it's a W for the Mets.
Tommy Pham, and the Mets have the leadoff man on in the 6th.
Yeah, but you know what? In 2021, he had a really good year for the Mets. I agree, Carlos. I agree.
It's not an automatic double when it goes to the wall in this ballpark because it's such a short throw to second base. You really have to hustle. Here's McNeil, who's flied out and struck out. He takes one up away from ball 1.
Man, hustling all the way. Had a little tough time on the turn there. Lost his stride.
At 6th hit of the night. He was fighting it right now.
Yes, there's no doubt.
Hitless in his last 9 at-bats, 270 for the year.
Come on, McNeil.
Boris Badenoff and the Tash are befuddling the squirrel.
Wilson Astros and score are getting away.
Come on, Jeff Basic, get that RBI. Ah,
Oh,
under
that-
everything.
Jeff's the score.
But the voice of Rocket J. Scroll was a woman that just recently passed away. Oh, it was a hot shirt. That's up the middle.
There you go, Jeff. That's an RBI. That's what I want to see from Jeff McNeil. 6-0 Mets. There we go. Good job. That's what I want to see from Jeff McNeil. Level swing up the middle.
Get him going.
Good job. 6-0 Mets.
21st run batted in for McNeil. He joins the party.
Jeff came into the game hitting 304 with runners in scoring position.
Good job. Perfect placement. A lot of balls hit up the middle today for the Mets, and love to see that.
Now Vogelback, who got the whole thing started for the Mets tonight.
Come on, Danny.
With a rain-making home run back in the third. And he gets the first pitch curveball for a strike. Vogelback's home run is second in a week. His fourth of the year. Trying to get his season restarted. Since coming back from his 7-day break, 3 for 9 with 2 home runs.
There's the home run. Got a high fastball.
LRF? Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. Easy. He don't even have 50 pitches yet. Scherzer. I think it's like 49. So it's a really good sign from Scherzer through 5 innings. But he's got a 6-run lead. So he got no excuse but to, I mean, keep it going. Come on, Danny. Good eye. So since Vogelback came back from that mental break, he's 3 for 9 with 2 home runs. Again, give me home runs. Lower that on base percentage and give me more home runs. I'll take that from Vogelback. Oh, that's a pitch he usually doesn't swing at. Got a little excited there.
Right after Hurricane Harvey. Right. The Astros would go on to win the World Series that year under A.J. Hinch.
There you go. Stay alive.
Down by Vogelbach. Dusty Baker came in to pick up pieces after the cheating scandal.
So Mets lead 6-0 in the top of the 6th. They got a man on first with nobody out. Scherzer pitching very well right now. Under 50 pitches through 5 innings.
Now 8th on the all-time managerial win list.
And Vogelback takes strike 3. And I think he was looking for something else there. 1 out.
Check in with the studio for a game break.
Oh, if you play baseball, you've been there as a hitter.
Well, Gary mentioned earlier, Joey Votto's a big home run in his first game back, and he's continuing that return. Here's a 2-run single in the 6th inning to put the Reds in front of the Rockies 5-4 right now. Cincy on top 5-4 in the 8th.
All right, David report brought to you by Honda. Beatty takes a strike.
Carlos, I'm not sure, but you know what?
Tell me if you're tired of it. No.
Let's just win. As long as it's a W, I don't care if it's a shutout or not. Would be nice, but I'm not worried about a shutout right now. But it's probably been a while ago.
6 hitters in the National League right now. Qualified
Yeah.
hitters who are
Well,
ready
they
for
finally
the
brought up their
playoffs.
young kids and they're panning out right now.
Yeah. I heard. I mean, there just aren't high average hitters anymore. And what he did tonight was his 3rd 5-hit game in the month of June.
Come on, Brett. Swinging at that crap.
1-2. And there are only 3 other players who have ever hit at 3 5
I want to see Brett Beatty get it going a little bit more, too.
Dave Winfield was the last to do it in 1984.
Oh, he's up there, Joey Votto. I don't know. He's probably in his late 30s. For sure.
In 1921.
George Sisler of the St. Louis Browns was a great player.
Well, for years, he owned the hits record, most hits in a season until Ichiro Suzuki broke it.
Oh, there we go. Jeff McNeil steals second. Ball gets away, and he gets to third base with 1 out. Love the aggressiveness by McNeil there. Good job. Mets are 20 for 20 in their last 20 stolen bases. Have not been caught in the last 20 attempts. So they've been picking their spots here.
Good pitch to throw, but just too good a jump, and the ball just runs into the runner.
All right. Runner in score position for Beatty with less than 1 out. Sack fly can get him in here.
And we caught only 6. Infield in now for Beatty with a 2-2 count.
There you go. Infield in. Damn it. Not where you wanted to hit it. 2 outs.
With the second out.
Nothing ticks a hitter off more than leaving a runner at third base, less than 2 outs.
All right. 2 outs. Man on third. Francisco Alvarez. 6-0 Mets. All right. So they're taking Brown out of the game after 98 pitches. Baker coming to the mound. So, once again, guys, hit on that like button if you just tuned in. Stanek is coming in for the Astros. Mets are leading 6-0 in the top of the 6 with 2 outs. Man on third. Alvarez coming up. Max Scherzer, 5 shutout innings, 1 hit, and has only 49 pitches on the night. So, Scherzer has been pitching well. The Mets give him another lead, 3 starts in a row now, where we had a lead of 3 runs or more, and we all know what happened in those last 2. Lost both of those games, and he lost those games for the New York Mets. So far, so good. Got a lot of game left. 6 runs, it's a nice lead, but I want to see Scherzer. Look, Scherzer got a pitch count where he should easily go 8 tonight. Maybe – God forbid, go 9, right? That would be shocking. But you know what? Just keep on pitching good, and we'll worry about that when we get to that part of the inning. So, at the moment, Mets offense is doing what the Mets offense has been doing for close to a month now. They've been scoring runs. They're 10th in home runs. For everybody who was wanting them to hit more home runs, well, they're hitting more home runs. So, the offense has been there. The offense has been scoring 5.5 runs per ball game. It should be more than enough to win ball games. And they've been showing that they can score runs just like everybody else, guys. Again, when you get a quality start, good things happen. It's just that simple. This is not analytical. This is not, any type of stat you want to throw out there. It's just baseball 101. When you get quality starts, you got more of a 75% chance of winning the ball game. That's just a fact. That's a simple percentage, simple baseball. It's you don't have to go through all these analytical stats and all that other nonsense. It's baseball 101, and it's proven tonight. Mets once again score 5 runs or more, and I already gave you the stat. The Mets have scored 6 runs or more. They lost 10 times when they scored 6 runs or more. That's a terrible stat. Again, you win half those games, you're at 500 right now. You win more than that? So, here we go. Mets are winning 6-0. Alvarez up with 2 outs in the 6th. Man on third. See if you get another 2-out RBI here. Oh! Fly ball, first pitch should be ended in, and it is. So the Mets get 1 run, tack on that lead, 6-0 Mets going to the bottom of the 6th. Scherzer coming back on the mound. Let me just check the comments. All right, guys, so please make sure you hit on that like button. Hovering around 80, 85 tonight, which is pretty good. I'll take it every day of the week. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, supporting, and hanging out with me during this first game of the series. And if you missed it, check out the Mets Roundtable podcast with me and Chris and Hayden tonight prior to the game. We went over everything over the homestand. We go over previewing the road trip, talking about the Mets being buyers or sellers at the deadline, depending on what they're going to do in the next couple of weeks. And we had a couple of disagreements, a couple of big debates, and, of course, more discussion on everything else. And, of course, asking questions answering questions from the chat as well. So make sure you follow and subscribe to those guys' channels as well, and follow those guys on Twitter as well, and check out the video as well. So just waiting for the commercial to end, and we'll be heading to the bottom of the sixth. Scherzer is coming back on the mound. So far, he's looked good. Alien, I can't blame you. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not. Look, I need to see a full game from this New York Mets team. The offense have shown up so far. The pitching has shown up. Not a lot of times this year have both actually happened at the same time consistently. Yeah. Well, I mean, the bullpen, it is what it is. They've been taxed in these first 2.5 months. So here we go. Bottom of the sixth. Mets lead 6-0. Scherzer on the mound. Scherzer starting the sixth inning with under 50 pitches. So that's a good first 5 innings. He's got to close it out. It's a big enough lead where there's no more excuses. Here we go. Bottom of the sixth, 6-0 Mets.
Tonight, huge bounce back performance so far for Max after giving up 6 runs in 3 1/3 against the Yankees last Tuesday. Still 5 scoreless innings, allowed only 1 single, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 49 pitches in 5 innings. And he'll get 8-9 in one of the Astros order.
All right, come on, Max, let's go.
Working with a 6-0 lead. Jake Myers lined out to left his first time up. And he swings to the first pitch and bounces back. How many first pitches have the Astros swung at tonight?
They're an aggressive lot, and also another fastball away to a right-hand hitter. Max has been working that outside corner with number 1.
Ground ball right to Beatty, and that's 1 out.
He throws out to Speedy Myers, 1 out.
Good job.
Well, I wonder how much of that is in deference to the ballpark, Keith. I mean, you throw inside to right-hand batters. If you make a mistake, that ball's going to go into the Crawford boxes in left field.
Well, I think it's probably also that Max realizes that he's been hanging that slider, and you can't tell me he wasn't in between starts here working on that fastball away, because he's thrown it a lot, and he's located it.
Good pitch.
See, Maldonado takes a slider for a strike. Maldonado lined out to left his first time up. Those have been the 2 hardest hit balls. The 2 liners by Myers and Maldonado, and Bregman's ground ball at first. Full foul. 0-2.
Right now, Scherzer is challenging these hitters. Right? You don't want to put anybody on base. Challenge the hitters. Let them beat you. So far, 5 1/3, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, no walks, no runs for Scherzer. 53 pitches with 1 out in the 6th.
Minute Maid Park for the first time since Game 7 of the World Series in 2019, when he and the Nationals left with the trophy. Curveball pulled foul.
Scherzer wasn't there with that slider right there. He just screamed out the F word.
Postseason 6 straight years, 4 World Series in that span. Now they've won it twice.
Oof, just outside. Got that fastball 95, so trying to get that outside corner there to strike him out.
It's really been an effective pitch, that fastball away.
1-2 coming. That's driven to left center field.
And that's a base hit. So Maldonado is the one guy that had good swings off of Scherzer tonight.
Another fastball away.
Good pitch. Slider on the outside corner. He reached and got it. Good hit in there. Got to tip your cap to Maldonado there.
That's another thing too here. This is something we haven't seen from Max. And all this computerized stuff that they go through for preparation for a game, the Astros in this case for Scherzer.
Popped it up. Should be right to McNeil, and it is 2 outs. Good job. I love that slider from Altuve there, trying to go after it.
That Max has gone to this attacking with that fastball away a lot. They haven't seen it, and that is catching them by surprise. How you go around the league, keep on doing that. they're going to be aware of that. But the first time,
All right, dangerous hitter in Bregman here.
surprise people.
That's looped into left field, and Pregame
Oh,
has his
damn. Nice try by Tommy Pham there. Don't want to dive for that ball and let it get behind you. So he kept it in front of him. First and second, 2 outs for the Astros.
Swinging at the first pitch. The season average is high to begin with, 34%.
It's a good pitch. Got it off the end of the bat there.
Got him reaching on that ball.
It's a good pitch. Just a good piece of hitting there.
Nice block by Sam.
Come on, Max. Let's go.
Well, the Astros get a runner
Well,
in scoring position.
your hottest hitter
Tonight.
in the lineup, Kyle Tucker.
Now Tucker comes
Dangerous hitter here. Got to be careful.
See how Scherzer attacks Tucker. 2 fly balls where he's beating him with the fastball upstairs. Let's see how he attacks him.
Tucker hitting 355 with runners in scoring position this year.
Playing Tucker to pull on the infield.
And he goes after first.
All right, challenge him. I like that. Up in his zone.
See, he split the plate right in half. But up. Good cut by Tucker.
Tucker's up, fly out both times.
Come on, Max. Let's go.
One of the issues that Scherzer's had during this rough patch is his inability to get out to the runners in scoring position, something that normally is a forte for him.
Good. Another
Left that pitch up.
pitch up in his zone, and he swung at it 0-2.
From Scherzer.
Another fastball
Again, you keep
up.
those balls out of the strike zone.
There's the
Let him go fishing.
Better against the lefties and righties, and I think that's because his cutter has been better than his slider so far this year.
And he's been hanging that to the righties, that slider. That's where the 7 home runs come in.
Now he's ahead on Tucker 0-2. And he throws the curveball. And
All right.
Gets enough fit to keep it.
Threw that slider. See if he went chasing. Good slider there. Throw it in the dirt. See if he goes fishing. See if he goes back up in his zone. Let her high with a fastball. Change the eye level of Tucker.
Astros did not hit well in that when they got swept last series against Cincinnati.
Come on.
5 for 29 in that series.
1-2 coming to Tucker.
Got him. Nice pitch. So the first time Scherzer had a little bit of a threat on the base paths, and he strikes out Tucker with a slider to end the inning. 6 shutout innings from Max Scherzer, and the Mets still lead 6-0. That is good pitching by Scherzer there. Did not give in, and that was a nasty slider inside and low. And you know what? The last couple of games, Scherzer has been leaving them sliders over the plate, and that's where Scherzer has dominated tonight. He's throwing that slider a lot. So whatever problem he had in the last 2 games against the Braves and the Yankees, he figured it out, guys. So good sign from Max Scherzer through 6 innings. Mets lead 6-0, going to the top of the 7th. And the Mets will have up 1, 2, 3, Nimmo, Marte, Lindor. See if they can tack on a couple of more runs here. 3 innings to go in Houston for our New York Mets. So far, so good. The pitching and the offense has showed up tonight. Panthers, 100%, buddy. 100%. Yeah, well, Andre, you know what? Again, you never give up on a pitcher, especially a guy like Scherzer who is so competitive. And you've seen, like, he clearly worked on it between the Yankee start and this start. Like, he saw something, what he was doing. It might have been mechanical, where he was leaving his arm wasn't coming up in front of his body, and he was probably late with his arm. His body was in front, his arm was behind him. And when that happens, you leave a lot of balls up, and that's what happens sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, sometimes, I haven't really dug deep into his mechanics, but it could be just his arm being late when his body's moving forward, right? As a pitcher, once your body is coming with that momentum, you want your arm to be on the same level of your body, and that's where you can get your best movement and best pitching. He might have just had his arm was a little late behind his body, and those balls hang, and that's what you've seen the last 2 starts. So good start for him so far. Still 3 innings to go. The Mets lead 6-0, going to the top of the 7th. Mets top of the order coming up. Let's see if we can tack on here, guys. Come on, Brendan.
Dubin comes out of the bullpen for the Astros. This is his major league debut. And his first pitch to Brandon Nimmo, fastball in for a strike.
Yeah, he was called up before the ball game yesterday. 9 appearances and 5 starts in AAA.
He's an upstate New York kid. Grew up in Allegheny, New York, which is up near Buffalo. And went to Erie Community College for a couple of years up in that part of the world. Then he transferred to an NAIA school, Georgetown in Kentucky, and was drafted by the Astros from there.
And Nimmo strikes out. Nimmo has struggled tonight with the bat. 1 out. Yeah, Mike, exactly. A pitcher always has that one thing. If they don't do that well, they're going to probably have a bad night. Oh, no, Andre, you always have to worry.
Sounds like a sweet place to be, though.
But I think it is mechanical because you've seen against a better lineup than the Yankees, he's handled them. That's why you can never just say the guy's done. You have to look at the overall perspective and picture of this game.
McGill added an RBI single in the 6th, and Max Scherzer has done the rest.
Come on, Starlin, let's go. Woof. Good arm.
Dubin going up and down. Fastballs up, curveballs down. 1-1 to Marte. Hunter Brown went 5 2/3 for the Astros, allowed 6 runs, 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 7, 2 home runs. Ryan Stanek got the last out of the 6th. And Dubin drops the breaking ball low. It's 2-1.
Marte grounds it out to short. 2 outs.
That's the second out. So 2 set aside by Dubin. Guess his heart rate isn't quite as fast as you would expect it to be. First time out of the big leagues.
Coming up with almost an 8 ERA and AAA.
All right, 2 outs in the 7th. Lindor, 6-0 Mets.
Smart spot for Dusty Baker to drop him into.
Mike, he might.
It's Lindor with a 3-run homer back in the 3rd. He takes curveball for a strike. Dubin has come in and thrown strikes. He might ask him to finish this game if the Astros come around. Fastball away, ball to strike. Might get to save their bullpen tonight. Dusty, because he's so far behind, and Buck, because Scherzer's pitch count is so low.
Lindor fouls it off.
Scherzer's still only 62 pitches through 6 innings.
Well, there's a big 3-run blow right there. That was a big home run right there.
Second in 2 days for Francisco. And his 14th of the year. 1-2 coming.
And he strikes him out. So that was a 1-2-3 inning for the top of the lineup for the Mets. Scherzer coming back on the mound for the bottom of the 7th. 3 hits so far and no runs through 6 for Max Scherzer. And his pitch count is still extremely low. So that's a good sign for Max and company. So we'll see if the Mets can continue to play well today. They have. So far, so good. Everything's been consistent today, and that's something that we would like to see a little bit more of. But one game, right? What does Boomer Sciences say with hockey on WFAN, right? 1 shift, 1 period, 1 game, right? In baseball, 1 pitch, 1 inning, 1 game. That's all you got to think about, right? Can't think too far ahead. Just think about today's game and then worry about tomorrow. And that's what they have to do. because you have games like this. I'm not saying every game is going to be like this, but you can see what this team can do when they pitch to the back of when they play to the back of their baseball card. When they do that, they're better than most teams. It's very simple. They just have to be consistent, and they haven't been this year. So once again, guys, going to the bottom of the seventh, 6-0 Mets. Please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in the stream for the last couple of innings of the ball game. So far, this game is going to be about 2 hours long and about 15 minutes. So quick game so far. And, when you got one side pitching well and the other side not, games can go pretty quickly, of course, with the pitch clock as well. But we shall definitely see if the Mets can come out victorious. And so far, so good through 6 innings. So they're showing the highlights of Scherzer tonight. See if he can continue that through the 7th.
Discovered fastball away. And as the game progresses, found his rhythm, and he has been so economic here with his pitch count.
No walks, 6 strikeouts, just 3 singles against Max over the first 6 innings. And he's thrown only 62 pitches to get to this point. He is certainly on a course where he could go very deep into this game. He hasn't gone beyond 7 innings this year. But he'll start the 7th inning with a low pitch count, facing Jose Abreu, who struck out and flied out tonight. Abreu, Diaz, and McCormick for the Astros in the 7th. Scherzer starts with slider away for ball 1. Max making his 12th start of the year, and it's been a mixed bag. Minor injuries, a suspension. Came back through 4 terrific starts in a row.
Now I want to see Max continue to challenge hitters. Got a 6-run lead here. No walks. Challenge him.
And now coming down to Houston to face the defending World Series champs. He's been in complete control.
This is his 8th career start. Gary mentioned earlier, 1 relief appearance, his first in the major leagues way back when. He was a Diamondback. He's looking to go 5-1.
Also, the 2 games he won against the World Series in 2019, including Game 7. Hold on the ground.
Ball right to Beatty.
Had himself a nice night in the field.
1 out.
He throws out Abreu away. Say Abreu is a guy who has always hit for MVP, for the Rookie of the Year. He's 36, and you just wonder what the shelf life is.
When you're an older player, that's always, scarlet letter right there hanging over your head. If you reach that point where you've lost that little bit.
Nice pitch.
Swings and misses at an
Beautiful
inside
fastball in the inside corner. Ties him up.
Diaz has struck out in a comebacker.
That's an unhittable pitch, even if you throw 93 miles an hour.
Hit game yesterday. He started out in the Cleveland organization. The Astros got in when they traded Miles Strong to the Guardians. It's left in the deep left.
And that ball might be gone. So that's a solo home run given up by Scherzer. Again, you got to challenge those hitters. Nobody on. 6-1 Mets.
He's got a very impressive bat.
It looked like a slider. It looked like it was on the outside corner. Let's see. Oh, no. Right down the middle. Yep. Hanging slider.
Just stayed flat and didn't get it away enough.
Now the train is on the move.
I won't say it. They're oranges here.
They are oranges. They're Minute Maid Park,
Not pumpkins.
not pumpkins. They're very large oranges because, they have to stand out from many hundreds of feet away where we're sitting.
All right, Scherzer's got to get it back together here. Still got a 5-run lead. Start throwing strikes. You don't want to put people on base. 70 pitches for Scherzer in the 7th.
That's a lot by Scherzer now. In 63 innings of work. It's a lot.
Ground ball, right to Lindor.
Over in front of it.
2 outs. There you go. Good job.
2 out.
Good job by Lindor backing up a little bit, getting that longer hop.
Last moment at the outfield grass.
Could have opted to backhand that ball
Well,
too.
or he could have come and got it real quick. Balls hit hard.
All right, Jeremy Penn is up at 2 outs, 6-1 Mets. Bottom 7.
6-3. It was Jeremy Pena who had the first Houston hit, and for the first 5 1/3 innings, the only Houston hit, and came in the 3rd. And he hit a comeback for the 5th. He would have a more spectacular rookie year than Jeremy Pena had last year. Finished 5th in the Rookie of the Year balloting, but really shined in the postseason.
Ooh, what a slider.
Curveball for Scherzer, wonderful.
Took a little off that, too. 77 miles an hour slider. He's been throwing that slider at 82, 83. So he slowed that pitch down, and it fooled Pena.
Astros have produced some really good young players the last few years.
Ooh, nice fastball inside. 1 and 2.
A player finished at the top 5 of the Rookie of the Year balloting each of the last 4 years, with Jordan Alvarez winning the award in 2019. Scherzer ahead on Pena 1 and 2. He bounces that one away. Cash has gotten 7 innings twice this year in Colorado and then against the Phillies in back-to-back starts late May, early June when he was in his best streak of the year.
He's 3/4 of the way to 100 pitches. He's just been fabulous.
I mean, no reason to think he won't go beyond 7 as long as he gets Pena here to put an end to this 7th inning.
Give the bullpen a rest.
And the curveball popped foul.
Good
back
pitch.
this way.
Right in front of us.
There's a backdoor slider up in his zone.
The fans are extremely close to us in the booth here in Houston. We've experienced this many times over the years.
Yeah, there was a couple gentlemen before the game that were down right below us. Just very creepy. They were staring at us.
I remember there was a game a number of years ago. We came here. It might have been that 17 inning game when Beltran made the catch.
Yes.
Anyway, there was a fan down below us, and he really wanted your autograph, and it was the middle of an inning,
Yes.
and he was holding up the card right below
Come on,
us,
Max.
and you had to
Nice.
get the chest.
Snappy tone on him.
Work it here. Work it here.
Hey, strikes him out on the outside corner. 7 innings for Scherzer, giving up that solo home run. So what pitching by Scherzer so far through 7? Beautiful pitch, fastball on the outside corner. Mets still lead 6-1. Top of the 8 coming up. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to the channel. Mets Astros game 1. Mets are looking to take game 1 of the series. Good start so far through 7. Got 2 more innings to go. 5-run lead. See if the Mets can hold a lead. That would be nice. Seems like we haven't done that as of late, but it'd be nice to get a nice victory here to start the series in Houston. And we can, listen, game 1 of a series is so important. It guarantees you in a 3-game series to have multiple chances to win a series, and that's the most important thing. Andre, I put it this way, because he had a really good series game against the Colorado Rockies and Philadelphia. This one, give me 8 innings. Do we have to go 9? No. Give me 8 innings here. 8 innings, 1-run ball. I'll take that. Look, I'll take that. Let's be honest. From what he did the last 2 starts, I'll freaking take that. So far, so good. Nice game all around. Got to finish it. We've said that a lot. Nice game until disaster. That's what it's been for the season so far. So, quality start. Really good start for Scherzer through 7. Offense showed up. So far, consistency throughout the roster so far, with Scherzer pitching well and offense doing well. We haven't said that a lot this year either. So it's a good sign for at least this game. But it would be nice to close out this game stress-free and get ready for tomorrow with Verlander on the mound. So we'll see if that pans out, and that would be very, very nice. I think it's 5 easy, right? I think he got, what was it in Pittsburgh or was it I don't remember. I think it's like 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so top of the 8 coming up. Mets lead 6-1. Alonso leading off.
So leads off against Sean Dubin, who worked his first big league inning in the 7th and got a 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. And this is up into the curveball to Alonso, who's looking for his first hit coming back from the injured list. For 7 of the 2 games. He's putting 0 for 3 tonight. Van and McNeil to follow in the 8th.
And that's a base hit for Pete Alonso. Going to the wall, that's going to be a double for Pete Alonso. Good job. Nice to see Alonso get a hit after coming off the IL. Leadoff double for Pete. Christina, so does that mean that you are the reason why the Mets are winning because you weren't watching? But glad the little man's going to get to sleep. So, see if the Mets can tack on a couple of more runs here. A little bit more cushion for our pit for Scherzer. Tommy Pham up.
Here's Tommy Pham, who doubled his last time up. He gets a breaking ball and fouls it back.
Christina, if they lose this game, I'm going to say yes.
Let's see how he hits the bag. Perfecto mundo.
Come on, Tommy.
Pham been on base twice tonight with a walk and a double. Takes a fastball strike from Dubin, 0-2. Dubin thought it would be really that easy in the big leagues after retiring the side of the order with a couple of strikeouts. Had to give up a bit. At some point, I mean, we were talking before about Scherzer's big league debut.
And right to the shortstop, should be 1 out, and it is. Christina, that would be tough, but you got to take one for the team.
Retired all and struck out 7. Wow. 4 1/3 perfect innings in his big league debut.
Throwing gas.
I think the Diamondbacks knew immediately that they had something.
And they traded him.
That they traded him to Detroit.
Who did they get for him?
I forget. It's a 3-way deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah, it was
I think Curtis Granderson was in that deal, went to the Yankees in that trade. I think Didi Gregorius went in that trade as well. McNeil at a base.
Come on, Jeff.
Base. Drove in a run of the 6th. Alonso dancing off second like he has notions of stealing third. And the cutter is up and into McNeil, and it's 2-0. He gets frisky sometimes. Got a couple of stolen bases this year, including one of third base. Right? More than anything, probably just to unnerve the rookie pitcher. Shut out the Pirates tonight, 8-0. That's 7 straight losses for the up and down Pirates. Who Smiley 5 innings for the win. Reds won again. Their 9th straight win. Joey Votto back from the injured list. First game in 10 months at a home run. And the Reds beat the Rockies.
There you go, Christina.
And they may go back into first place tonight. 2-1 to McNeil. And he bounces that cutter foul. The Brewers, who were a half game up on the Reds coming into the day, are down 8-1 to the Diamondbacks in the 7th. Kelly pitching.
Andre,
Arizona.
at the moment, we don't need him.
3.5 games.
Keep him down there. He's insurance.
In front of the hard-charging Giants, who just swept the Dodgers over the weekend. Giants have won 7 in a row. They'll play at the Padres tonight. To come to McNeil, and he lofts that one.
Fly
out to
ball.
left center.
Should be 2 outs, and it is.
Make the catch, 2 out.
So Scherzer, Gary, was traded in a three-team deal. Arizona acquired Ian Kennedy, Edwin Jackson deal. The Tigers landed Daniel Sklera, Phil Cote, Austin Jackson. The Yankees got Curtis Granderson.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd clear the air.
So best player the Diamondbacks got in that deal.
Ian Kennedy.
Vogel back
yes.
up with 2 outs,
He was
1 on.
pitcher. A couple of good years for them, but it wasn't Max Scherzer.
There are not too many Max Scherzers.
Tigers got a guy who dominated before moving on to Washington as a free agent. Probably the best long-term free agent contract for a pitcher in terms of getting the value back of any contract there's ever been. I mean, he gave full value for the 7 years in Washington. The World Series championship his last full season there. Jeff Brigham getting loose. but
Jeff
not
Brigham
throwing
warming up.
yet. Scherzer certainly going to start the 8th. 1-1 to Vogelback, who homered for the first net run tonight.
Ball
Takes the
2.
cutter outside. It's 2-1.
All right, Steve, have a good night.
Steve is usually between innings pacing. If he's done, he's usually up on the rail. If he's still in the game, he's usually walking. Foul on the plate. Let's do it to Vogelback. Time to expect a nice speed hitting. Did Pete go to the top of the turn? He did. Of course he did. Now, Jeremy Payne is hit in the 3rd inning.
I don't know.
Little staker through the right side. That was 108. Snake.
Come on, Danny.
Yeah.
Get that RBI in with 2 outs.
Feel good? I've never heard that. I don't think it was hit all that hard. Did you?
I get it. Snake through the infield.
Well, the back lifts this one toward the left field
Oh,
line.
is that going to stay in play? It
Case
is.
over.
And that ends the inning. Mets do not score. 6-1 Mets going to the bottom of the 8th. And Max Scherzer is coming out for the 8th. And, of course, you're going to have bullpen just in case Max gets into a little bit of trouble here. So far, so good for Max Scherzer through 7. If Max gets through the 8th inning, it'll be his longest outing of the year. But has to get through that first. So, once again, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out tonight on this little later start to a Mets game, 8 o'clock. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Monday night. Mets Astros, first game of the series in Houston. And let's hope the Mets finish this off with a stress-free game and a W in that win column, which would be nice. Not many in June so far. Hopefully the Mets get to turn this around. A couple of teams in front of us around the wild card lost. Pirates lost. Brewers lost. So the Dodgers lost. So I know the Reds won, the Giants won, but you know what? You got to get past a couple of teams here. You know, gotta win series here, and hope that teams in front of you lose a little bit, and get past a few of these teams and get back into relevancy in the wild card spot. And that's the most important thing, a playoff spot. You know, everybody wants to win a division, but just get in, baby. That's my motto. It's been obvious that division winners doesn't necessarily mean good performances in the playoffs. Just got to get in, get hot at the right time. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Mets lead 6-1. Scherzer coming out for the 8th inning. Let's see if Scherzer can have his best outing of the year if he can get through 8 innings. Let's see how it goes. See if the Mets can give us a stress-free night. Let's see. Here we go, guys. 8th inning. Mets 6, Astros 1.
Late about what happens tomorrow. Can't tell what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, the weather forecast tries to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, but they're not always right.
No, we don't have to worry about the weather.
Max Scherzer, for the first time this year, will take the mound in the 8th inning. Only one bet pitcher has completed 8
Come on,
innings
Max.
this year. That's Justin Verlander against Cleveland. Jake Myers leads off in the home 8th and takes a curveball on the
Very
outside
nice curveball.
for a strike. Myers is lined to left and grounded to 3rd. Astros 1-run, 4 hits. Their only run came on a Yainer Diaz home run in the 7th. It was 77 pitches through 7 innings. And so able to get deep into this one.
Good. Challenging the hitters. Staying in the strike zone. Love it. Jeff Brigham warming up just in case.
Scherzer needs assistance. So with Robertson and Ottavino and Raley and Leone all having pitched yesterday, you'd think for Max to get deep. This is with a changeup and it's 1-2. That's made a pitching move today. You know, they're still one short of the bullpen because of Drew Smith's suspension. So John Curtis went 2 2/3 yesterday, and of course that earned him a ticket back to the minor leagues. Not his fault. Just he won't be able to pitch for a couple of days. That's his fresh arm. They called him Grant Hartwig, for whom his first appearance will be his major league debut. It's a great story.
Come on, Max.
That's called. Now, 2 years later, he's on a big league roster.
Come on, Max. Don't walk people. Let's go.
Team Maldonado on deck, and then Jose Altuve. Scherzer's yet to walk a batter tonight.
Gotta challenge him here. Fastball down the middle. He hits it. He hits it. Ah, come on, Max. Try to go with the fastball. Just missed the plate. Well, Grassini, he has a live arm. He's got a strong arm. Had good numbers in AAA. Any arm is a good arm at this point in the bullpen. So, but he's a good young arm. The Mets like him. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how long he's going to be here, but we'll see. So Maldonado has had the best at bats tonight against Scherzer. Scherzer's just a little off in this inning. Can't start walking guys here.
Showalter than Max to get 8 innings in.
Nice pitch. Challenge him. Oh, Max, let's go.
We just watched Adam Wainwright the other day, a guy who's been the top of the food chain pitcher for 15 years, yet win number 198.
Just missing off the plate on the outside corner there.
He will reach back and finish this inning. Knock on wood.
Fortunately, our table is wood.
They are tied. Oh, that hit the bat. So it's a fortunate 2-2. So that ball hit off the bat of Maldonado and hit the hand of Alvarez. Ooh, ouch.
I think it got his hand and his knee.
Yes.
Yep.
Lower thigh.
But it came off the throwing hand first, and I think that's the concern. Golia, the athletic trainer out there, make sure that hand is okay. It's a very important hand. It's amazing that catchers never hit. You know, taking foul balls off their hands.
He's in a little bit of pain, that's for sure.
He does not show pain easily.
I remember I was a kid growing up, and you saw all the old-time catchers. They all had
So Alvarez getting his hand checked out.
Fingers where the knuckles were at the joint were bent out of shape. Johnny Bench was the first one. Here's another look at it here. The free hand, the right hand, watch.
It's not.
Ow.
You love to have that
Ouch.
hit somewhere where it's not exposed.
Johnny Bench was the first catcher to come up. To put the
All right, look like he's going to stay in the ball game there.
Yeah, he caught one-handed. Everybody else before that caught two-handed, partly because the gloves weren't as good, right? But also because Johnny had such huge hands.
Johnny put like 8 balls in his hands.
Alvarez going to test it out.
Johnny Bench was a remarkable player.
Well, he redefined the position.
Oh yeah, he could have played longer.
All right, so looks like
I don't think anybody would have.
Alvarez is fine, and we're back to it. Well, it gave Scherzer a little bit of a breather, getting a couple of warm-ups.
Say about shaking hands with an old catcher. Say don't shake his hand, you may never get it back.
All right. Here we go. 2-2 count to Maldonado.
Might be the pliers to pry it loose. 2-2 count to Maldonado. Myers at first and nobody out. And Scherzer being warned about coming set before the batter was ready. That's the Scherzer rule that they put in during spring training. We're still leaving that hand exposed.
Yep.
Curveball outside.
Curveball. Come on, you can't start walking, guys. Got to challenge him. Come on, Max.
Just walked Myers for his first walk of the night. Now he's 3-2 on the number 9 hitter, Maldonado.
Yeah, nice pitch. There you go. Nice fastball. Got to challenge him. 1 out. Love to see that. Love that challenge right there. Let them earn to get on. Not a good pitch. It's right down the middle, but you got to challenge him.
Once the back foot off the rubber here, that's why they got the toe guard there. So we used to call the toe plate.
David Martinez used to slam that toe into the ground and really.
All right, Altuve up and 1 out.
Late in his career. Jose Altuve lays off the curveball. Altuve has been swinging early in the count. He struck out 3 pitches his first time up and made 1 pitch out each of the next 2. So Scherzer trying to tease him with that one, couldn't get the swing. Altuve, 3-time American League batting champion. And he grounds one.
Ground ball could be a double play. Double play. 8 innings from Max Scherzer and 1 run. Best outing of the year for Max Scherzer, and the New York Mets are going to the top of the ninth with a 5-run lead. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Going to the top of the ninth, Mets lead 6-1. The Mets will have a Beatty, Alvarez, and Nimmo. If I'm Buck here, I take out Alvarez and just give him the rest of the night. Give him the last inning. Don't let him come up to the plate and mess with that hand. Let Navarez come in and take the pinch hit opportunity. Let's not mess with Alvarez here. Exactly, Carlos. Just what the doctor ordered. This 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. And that's something that was nice to see. I mean, let's give it up for Scherzer. I know he makes a ton of money, and should be expected of him. But people were putting him down. People were saying he's done. This is look. Yordan Alvarez is not in the lineup, but it's still a better lineup that Max Scherzer is facing. Right? He gave up more runs against the Yankees lineup that had no Judge, that is looking putrid, that's hitting under 200 over the last week. So it's a good sign. He had all his pitches working, and it's nice to see. Now, you'd like to see him double up on the next game, but 1 game at a time, like we were talking about. So, the Mets are going to the top of the ninth with a 5-run lead. Again, 8-9-1 for the Mets. Beatty, Alvarez, Nimmo. If you just tuned in, Alvarez got hit by a foul ball in his hand. If I'm Buck, I take Alvarez out of the game. Don't let him hit. Put Navarez in. You don't want him favoring that hand or anything like that. That's right, Christina. 1 game at a time. When you got a struggling team, worry about 1 game, especially the first game of a series, because that's the most important thing. So you're seeing smiles all around the Mets dugout right now. Scherzer smiling, talking to Tommy Pham. So best outing of the year for Scherzer, 8 innings, 1 run. Great performance. 4 hits, and Alvarez is going to get it. He's on deck. So the kid does not want to get out of the game. I love that. No, easy. I agree with you.
Sean Dubin at his big league debut, working his 3rd.
And that's a base hit up the middle for Beatty. That's his 2nd hit. I agree, CP. I agree, Chris.
He's 2 for 4.
Yeah, easy. I'm not even talking about brownie points, but you know what? Right? If I would have told you he would have went 8 innings, 1 run, you would have laughed in my face today, right?
Oh, we got some Let's Go Mets chant.
Oh, we got the Let's Go Mets chant. It must be Grant doing that. So let's see if Alvarez can swing the bat fine with that ball that hit him with the foul ball. Oh, looks okay. Swinging at the first
His hand
pitch.
was hurting badly enough that when he took his chest protector off, he was very ginger about how he used that hand. Look at his fingers stuck out
it
there.
looks swollen too.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
Frankie.
a gamer, and he's going to try and play through it. Well, maybe they back for him, take him down for some precautionary x-rays, but apparently not necessary. Curveball stays inside. It's 1-1.
A lot of times when you're hurt, your hands, your wrist, your elbow, you really focus on getting that one swing and making contact and getting out of that box.
He did swing at that first fastball and fouled it off. Gets curveball,
Oof.
pops and foul back this
He
way.
loves those high pitches.
Second below us. Yeah, the Altuve pitchers dropped it.
Huh.
Added it was right to him. Soft little pop up.
His girlfriend's laughing at him.
Poor guy. Demo waits on deck. 1-2 to Alvarez. And he checks his swing. He went around strike three.
Oh. Said he didn't check his swing.
Strikeout, his third.
Alvarez strikes out for the third time tonight. 1 out. Nimmo coming up. Nimmo struggling tonight with 3 strikeouts in 4 at-bats. Very not Nimmo.
At the moment of the Mets bullpen, but Jeff Brigham was throwing extensively in the last inning, and it certainly appeared from looking at the Mets dugout that Scherzer is done. So we'll see. Here's Nimmo, who's 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a fly ball. And he takes well inside for ball 1. Hunter Brown gave up a 5-run third inning, and the Mets have been cruising ever since.
So Scherzer is still pacing. I wonder if he's going to come out for the 9th. That would be interesting.
And turned in a stellar outing tonight. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that he could go out there for the 9th inning. He's only thrown 91 pitches. We'll find out. Last complete game came 2 years ago as a member of the Nationals. And there's Brigham. So I think Brigham's coming in.
He's ready.
2-0 to Nimmo with Marte on deck. And Brandon gets one in the air to center field.
Pops it up to center.
Circles in
Should
under.
be 2 outs. And it is.
And that's the second out. So Nimmo retired, 2 down. Starling Marte coming up. In the bottom of the 9th, the Astros will have Bregman, Tucker, and Abreu. There's 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Marte had an RBI single in the Mets' 5-run third. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Beatty at first with 2 down.
And that's a shot to left field from Marte.
So Marte has
Hard hit ball, first and second, 2 outs. With Lindor coming up.
And test Pete for the exit velocity lead. That was a bullet.
You guys, I'll be right back.
Can I get a witness? 110.9. Good call.
Yeah, that was a rocket here.
Keith, you can probably do the exit velocities without the computers, without the cameras.
I would never want to know what the exit velocity is. I know if I hit something like that, I knew I hit the dog out of it. Is that an official Major League statistic?
You know, they have launch angles, they've got exit velocity, they've got barrels. Do they have hit the dog out of it? How many times over the course of the season you hit the dog out of it?
I think that's a little outdated. We'll pass A.
That's lifted to left by Lindor. Back to the warning track goes McCormick. Looks up and it's off the wall. And the score is Beatty. Marte will score.
Yeah.
As Myers comes
All right.
from center field to finally pick
2
up.
RBIs. 8-1 Mets. There we go. 5 RBIs from Francisco Lindor. Yes. Let's go. Insurance runs, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's got 2 ribeye steaks on it, too. I mean, McCormick was trying to figure out if he could catch
Thank
this
God
ball
for that
because
short
they hit
wall.
Too high off the wall. And as it turned out, I mean, if he goes back and jumps for that ball, does he have a chance for it? I'm not sure either.
All right, Alonso up 2 outs. 8-1 Mets.
Lindor with the 5 tonight. And here's Alonso, who doubled his last trip. Mets having themselves some fun in Houston. And Sean Dubin gets.
We'll take it, guys. We'll take it.
He's alive in the big
There you go,
leagues.
Christina.
Hard hitting.
Still got 3 more outs to go, though. Knock on wood.
Big day for him. Double homer, 5 RBIs. I mean, that's really the way his year has gone. He's had these games like this. He's got 32 extra base hits now among his 59 hits. He's got 50 RBIs. Despite a batting average that's under 220. It's the oddest thing. Kind of an all or nothing year for Francisco. He's got 1 more RBI than Alonso now. He began the day 3rd in the National League with 49, and Lindor now has 50. Ozzie Albies came into the day leading the league in RBIs with 52. How about that? Olsen with 51 right behind him. 1-2 coming to Pete, and that goes off
that
the
ball
wall.
gets away. Lindor's
Over to
going at
goes
third.
Lindor.
So, man on third with 2 outs. 8-1 Mets. Top of the 9th.
I presume that's going to be a pass ball.
I'm marking it the fastball.
And the scorer confirms it is a pass ball. So Lindor at third with 2 out. 2-2 to Alonso. And he yanks that one foul. Well,
So Grant Hartwick is warming up. Maybe he'll get his first outing for 7-run lead. He might get Hartwick. Yep. Looks like Grant Hartwick is going to be the one coming in with his first major league outing from the bullpen.
Lower than 3/4, and Buck was talking about that pregame today and saying that Hardwick gives the Mets a little different look out of the bullpen with that arm angle.
He's heating up fast as he can.
Yeah, and Brigham's backed off, so it makes perfect sense with a 7-run lead. Have Hardwick start the inning. If he gets in trouble, Brigham can come in behind him.
So that delivery right there shows me he's got a sinker. That 3/4 almost sidearm.
Oh, Pete.
Not quite sidearm.
Three-two coming from Dubin to Alonso. And Pete
Ooh,
takes
ball
over
4.
that
Good at bat
ball
by
four.
Pete
The inning
Alonso.
continues, so Dubin having trouble putting this 9th inning to bed.
Now with that walk, that'll get Hardwick ready. He'll have enough time to come in.
And Tommy Pham will get another turn at bat. And while pitching coach Josh Miller.
All right, pitching coach coming up.
The Dubin, who's thrown 44 pitches.
Yep, we'll see what he got. And you know what? Perfect time to put in a young kid. In his big league debut.
Perfectly. The second inning, he worked around.
Will got at least a 7-run lead. It's a perfect time to put him in there. You know, make sure Brigham stays up just in case he gets in trouble. You know, you never know with young kids. But you know what? Hartwick could actually be a guy that can stay in the bullpen if he shows something here. Or show something, you know, while he's up. So the Mets have a 7-run lead, 8-1 Mets in the top of the 9th. Tommy Pham coming up, first and third, 2 outs. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, please hit on that like button. Mets are on the verge of winning the ball game. Got 3 outs to go, but not done in the top of the 9th. Christina, I think he is 25 or 24 or 25.
He swings and misses at a breaking ball, nothing in one.
I read in the
Come on.
paper today that after 72 games, this was the worst record the Astros have had since 2016, which was the last year they got into that they didn't get into the postseason. 6 over 500.
Nice backhand by Maldonado. That saved a run. 1-1. Well, it's their offensive numbers that have hurt. They've got the worst offensive numbers that Houston has had since 2014, which was the last of the losing years for Houston as they rebuilt. And tops one foul, and it's 1-2. And that was even with, Alvarez over the last 10 days. So their offense has not been what they want. Their pitching, though, has been superb, leading the American League. in just about every important category.
Yep, Carlos for sure.
ERA. But not today. He runs in 11 hits for the Mets. One, two coming to Pham. And he pulls that one. You know what's interesting is with the rules this year and the games being so much quicker, even in lopsided games like this, nobody leaves. The last few years, you get these games. If there was 8-1 in the ninth inning, you were probably 3.5 hours in, right? And people would get up and go home. But now everybody's staying around. It's only 2 hours and 23 minutes old right now. Makes a huge difference. Sure does. And they say it has not had any deleterious effect on concession sales. One, two coming to Pham, and he pulls that.
And that's a 2-out RBI, base hit for Pham, 9-1 Mets. Great job. Tommy Pham just continues to rate. All right, Tommy. Ever since getting those new contacts. Easy is probably going to be the new kid that they brought up, Grant Hartwig. And why not with an 8-run lead? See what happens when you earn some time? Tommy Pham barely got playing time. But when he finally got opportunities, he started the battle and do well. And now he starts every day now. He's basically the Mets starting left fielder.
He didn't do much the first month to 6 weeks of the season with sporadic playing time, but as he's gotten to play more, he's produced more, and he's earned even more playing time. That's scored 3 runs in this ninth inning to break this game open. Jeff McNeil drove in a run with a 6th inning single. He fouls off the cutter, and it's 0-2.
Dubin is out here to hang dry.
Well, he'll probably be in the back of the minor leagues tomorrow. That's how these things go. Just like John Curtis yesterday helped the Mets out by going 2 2/3. Wound up back in Syracuse with Hartwig being called up to take his spot. This is the nature of the beast for guys who have options. Teams need fresh arms at every turn. If you go deep and can't pitch for a couple of days, you're liable to be back in the minors. 0-2 to McNeil. And the curveball pulled foul.
Love the at-bats by the Mets today.
Getting through this inning, but Marte, Lindor, Alonso, Pham, they've all extended it. Now throwing 53 pitches in his 2 2/3. The Allegheny, New York product trying to put this inning to bed ahead on McNeil 0-2. Alonso at second, Pham at first.
And McNeil fouls it off again, staying alive. Yeah, easy, right?
Can you imagine if you actually put a microphone on Jeff McNeil over the course of 9 innings and you didn't have to edit everything out? That thing for good live television. Hard knocks.
That's what they say about, us.
Well, except our mics are open. People can hear what you say.
And that's a base hit. Is that going to score Alonso? And no, he's going to stay at third. Bases loaded, 2 outs. A nice base hit from Jeff McNeil. McNeil's looking like he's getting it together now. Nice to see.
Dusty has no intention of pulling the plug on Dubin. There's nobody up in the Houston bullpen. And now they're just going to get somebody up. But this can't go on forever. Well, you don't want to burn out a kid in his big league debut. Seth Martinez will start to throw now.
8 innings, 1 run from Max Scherzer.
Sent 9 men to the plate. They scored 5 runs in the third. They scored 3 in the ninth. Vogelbach got the scoring started with a home run leading off in the third. There's Martinez getting ready. Brett Beatty started this inning with a base hit up the middle. He's now on deck. Vogelbach takes a curveball down. It's 1-1.
Easy, yeah. Yes. Them Lightning one, yeah. Come on, Vogie. Cap off that good night for you.
And then Vogelbach fouls off that curveball, and it's 1-2. This is the fourth straight batter that Dubin has had 2 strikes on. It was 3-2 on Alonso, walked him. He was 1-2 on Pham, got the base hit. He was 0-2 on McNeil, got the base hit. Now he's 1-2 on Vogelbach. And Daniel
Good eye,
takes
good
the
eye.
ball in the dirt. It's 2-2. He pitches in the 4th inning. That is 33 pitches in this inning. After throwing just 26 in his first 2 innings. That's now with 9 runs and 13 hits. Two coming to Vogelbach. And the curveball.
Yeah, that's a base hit. That should score 2. Oh, and the bobbles. That's a 2-out base hit by Vogelbach. 3 RBIs for Daniel Vogelbach today. 11-1 Mets. Wow. Blowout game for the Mets, and it's not us losing. Shocking. Well, this is very nice to see, guys. An overall game for the Mets, pitching and hitting. How about that? It is possible. Well, Christopher, that's all you can hope for, right? But like I said, one game at a time. One game at a time. Tomorrow is not worry. You're not worried about tomorrow until tomorrow. But good signs all around. But you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher. Again, pitching, pitching, pitching. Say it again and again.
Big league career started so well. Sure did, with 2 great innings and a 3rd inning that he'll like to forget.
And I think you are correct, Gary, that he will be back down into Sugarland, manana.
Sweeter times ahead. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Shoo, 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 shoo. Sugar time. And Beatty takes a knee-high strike, 2-1. His velocity is dipping.
I agree,
This
Christina.
is
It's amazing what happens when players that you expect to play to the back of the baseball cards, what they can do. It's just simple. They're not playing over what they're doing. They're not playing, they're not, overperforming. They're playing to the back of their baseball cards. And you see what a team can do when they play to what you expect. It's baseball 101.
It's kind of painful to watch. John Dubin, upstate New York kid, trying to get a New York team out in the night. 2-2 to Beatty. And the curveball sits high.
Oh, and he calls him strike 3 on Beatty. Mets score a couple of more runs, more insurance runs. 11-1 Mets going to the bottom of the 9th. And Grant Hartwig, who's just called up today, is going to see his first major league outing from the pen. And we'll see what he got. He's a 3/4 pitcher, throws from the side. He's a side armor. So we'll see what he got. And maybe this can be a guy that the Mets can see him in the bullpen going forward, but we'll see what he got. And the Mets got a 10-run lead. And again, you never want to jinx anything because crazier things have happened. But if this game ends the way it looks, this is the first time this year the Mets have a game where everything turned out gold for them. 8 innings from Scherzer. That's the best thing. This is the best game so far for the Mets. All around. Pitching, offense, everything clicked tonight. And you see, and I'm not saying this team is going to score 11 runs every night. Like that's crazy. That's crazy talk. But you see what happens when these guys play to the back of the baseball cards. It's amazing what can happen, right? And again, nobody has to overperform here. They just got to play to the back of their baseball cards, and they should be good. Yeah, Christopher, I'm telling you. See, all those people that talked about Scherzer being done, sometimes you just don't have it. Sometimes you don't have location, and he didn't have location against the Yankees and against the Braves. It wasn't even location. It's just that he wasn't throwing the pitches he needed to pitch. 8 innings, 1 run from Max Scherzer. If I would have told you that before the game, you would have thought I was smoking some good stuff. Again, it's one game. I'm not going crazy over one game, but it's nice to see that the Mets can actually do this, play an overall good game from both sides of the plate.
Never got to the strike zone. Looked like a ball, and when it was called a strike, that's Brett's sister. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Well, she didn't wolf him.
All right, bottom of the night. Mets got a 10-run lead, 11-1. Grant Hartwig, called up from Syracuse today, is going to get his first major league appearance.
Well, Grant Hartwig will make his major
See what he got.
debut.
MLB debut.
The undrafted free agent, signed by the Mets out of Miami, Ohio, to keep him from going to medical school. And 2 years later, here he is on a big league mound.
Got a live on, 96 miles an hour.
Ball outside for ball 1.
One thing you want to see from a kid coming up for his first time, does he throw strikes? Always important.
And Dubon takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. And Dubon lines one in the right center field for a base hit.
Well, throwing strikes.
Off on Marte. He gets it back in. So Hardwick gives up a base hit to the first man to face him in the big leagues. Mets now have Omar Narvaez catching. They've got Luis Guillorme playing shortstop. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for the Astros, Cesar Salazar. Will bat for Kyle.
Shooter, you know what he's going to say? It's only one game. And it is. He's right. It's only one game. We all know that.
Spring training game.
You don't get too excited for a game like this. You're happy
Salazar back up
because
catcher.
it's worked out very well all around tonight, and that's what you want to see, the consistency for at least one game.
Pitchers make their major league debut today. That's it.
Ground ball should be a double play, and it is 2 outs.
Hartwig gets his first 2 big league outs. 6-6-3 double play, and the Astros are
Okay, Scotty. So you're an ass, and who cares what you think, right? Goodbye.
So Hartwig gets his first 2 big league outs.
Well, country, you got to root for the Braves, right? Because the Phillies are in front of us. The Mets are not catching the Braves, so you just got to hope they sweep them. The hell with the Phillies.
Easy 96 for Hartwig.
No, Robert, maybe it was just mental. Who knows? But it is only a couple of games. I'm not going to go crazy with Vogelback.
Actually, yeah, my second year in 75. I lost my rookie status in 74.
It's up, 2 outs, 1 more out to go, and the Mets get game 1 of the series. Strike 2.
On the corner, and now the Astros are down to their final strike. Grant Hartwig, who
I agree,
for
Pinchers.
the Mets last year. Now at the big league level for the first time, and he gets the breaking ball down. It's 2-2 to Kessinger. Max Scherzer went 8, allowed a run on 4 hits, a walk, 8 strikeouts, 91 pitches. Terrific night for Scherzer. A huge bounce back for him against the defending world champs. And Hartwig misses away, and it's 3-2. Yiner Diaz will be next. From Hardwig and pulls foul. On the play in the bottom of the 8th, the base hit by Vogelbach, they've added an error on Myers in center field, allowing McNeil to go to third. So there are 2 errors on the Astros tonight. And it's up and in ball 4, and so the game continues as Scherzer draws a 2-out draw. Think about Hardwick's path. It's pretty amazing that a guy who was not even drafted and signed in 2021 is in the big leagues in 2023.
No way, country. The Braves have made me a depressed man over my lifetime.
And he was right on the verge when the Mets called. And then he got that other call last night.
I respect the Braves, but I can't stand them.
1-1 to Diaz, who homered for the only Astros run in the 7th inning, his 6th home run of the year, like him against Scherzer.
Ground ball should end the inning, and it is. And the ball game is over. And according to Howie, Mets win 11-1. The first game all year where I can say the New York Mets have played an all-around perfect game. Very simple. Offense showed up. Scherzer showed up. And there you go, guys. Look, we can't get overly excited. It's only one game, but it's a good start to a road trip, and you always want to win the first game of the series. I'm not going to be the first one. Yes, Christina can actually watch the Mets again. So I know she's happy about that. So great game by the Mets, probably the first one all year, and it was the dominant game. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts from Max Scherzer. Lindor with 5 RBIs, Vogelback with 3 RBIs. It was just an all-around perfect game for the Mets. And great. You're not going to, have the confetti come down or anything like that. It's one game. And what the Mets haven't done this year is shown a little bit of consistency. Come out tomorrow, and I'm not saying to score 11 runs. I mean, that'd be great. But you got Scherzer pitched the best game of his the best performance of this year. Nice to see. Now, again, we talked about it all the time. Starting pitching. The Mets are now 20-2 when a starter goes 6 innings or more. Again, pitching. And like Easy just said, we gave our bullpen another day's rest. With a bullpen that pitched a lot in the last couple of series, it's a good start to the series. It's nice to see. I don't think anybody really predicted this happening, to be honest with you. I'm not, like I said, the Astros are struggling right now. They have a couple of injuries, but you got to beat teams. And you beat them how you get them, right? I don't remember anybody talking about, making excuses saying, oh, we beat the Mets, but Verlander wasn't pitching, right? When he was out the first month, right? You never give back wins, all right? I can name you every team that won games against, do we give the Reds no credit because they beat the struggling, injured Astros? No. But you take advantage of that. The Mets did tonight. Means nothing for tomorrow until tomorrow happens. And we'll see what happens. But good start for the New York Mets. The Mets won 11-1. Scherzer, 8 innings, 1 run. Best performance of the year by far. Mets offense showed up once again. And now the pitching actually showed up. It's amazing what happens when both of those things work out at the same time. So, with that said, a win is a win. Very simple. So, the Mets have a chance to now win a series. They got 2 chances to do it against the Astros. Verlander, first time back in Houston, in another uniform. Let's see what he does. Again, it all starts with starting pitching. Verlander gets the opportunity tomorrow against his old team. Mets are now 34-38, 4 games under 500. Starts with 1 game. It all starts with 1 game, and they played very well tonight. all around. So with that said, Mets win 11-1. There will be no stream tomorrow for the game. Unfortunately, got some things to do, and I can't do it. But I can assure you, Wednesday's afternoon game, Game 3, I will be doing a live stream for that game. So with that said, everybody have a good night. Check out Chris with his post-game show tonight. Check out that channel if you want to watch some post-game show. Check his out. So with that said, everybody have a great night. Mets win 11-1. Scherzer's best performance of the year. Vogelback 3 RBIs with the home run. Lindor with 5 RBIs and a 3-run homer. That is your 2 stars of the game along with Max Scherzer. With that said, everybody have a good night. As always, Mets fans, let's go Mets. See you next time, guys. Have a good night.
We got the teamwork to make the dream work. Let's go. We're gonna make it this time. We're gonna take it home. Let's go. Do it. Do it. Make it happen. Where there's a Mets man, you'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year for all your Mets here. Let's